Well, how about that, everybody? Let's go!
Yeah!
Woo! Man, that felt good.
I'm tired. I think we need to go. That was good. Good show. Good show, everybody. We are wiped out from yesterday.
That was fantastic. Fantastic, Padres. 1-0. 1-0. And you're listening to Ben and Woods. Happy Friday to everybody. Let's get our heads right on this beautiful Friday morning. I want to fix my scene here. It's not looking great for your old pal Woodsy. Kind of look like a haggard old turd, if I'm being honest with you. Should I put the light on? Do you think that make it better?
We were just having this discussion.
Is that softer?
Answer is yes.
Do I look soft? Is that better? Okay. All right. Well, I think we're ready to get started. My head's now right. Probably something you should do before the show.
It's radio show, so
instead of in the middle of it. But man, what a great mood everybody is in this morning. So good to be here with you. Such an incredible day yesterday. We can talk about some of the beautiful things that happened out at the ballpark and beyond. I am Woodsy. To my right is my very sexy, hot piece of absolute tail, Paul Reindl. He is the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie. How are you, man?
I was waiting for it. I was going to just jump in if you didn't.
You are looking very good. To my left is Benjamin R. Higgins. He's your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning.
And really, honestly, to my right is my hot, sexy wife, Hannah.
Why isn't she on the camera, though?
I don't know.
That doesn't
she
make any
actually
sense.
needs to be on
of
camera.
Of the four people in here, the one that should be on camera most is the only one who isn't.
That's true. Good morning, babe. How are you? Say hello.
Hi. I'm good. Thanks.
Good. She's monitoring the chat. She's working the chat for us this morning. This is kind of our tradition. We go down to the Pendry Hotel and we stay a couple nights. Nice to be able to walk down to the broadcast yesterday, have the car already parked. We have, get a room. We went to Lionfish for dinner the night before. Had a pretty good meal. It was pretty good. I would like to try something else next year. We've done Lionfish like 3 years in a row.
I thought it was delicious.
Yeah. I mean, I ate more than you did. It was fine. And then it's nice to walk down to the broadcast. Nice to have a place to go back right after the broadcast, freshen up, take a little horse bath, if you will, a little cologne. Sorry, that's probably a crass term these days. What would you call it?
Probably always was, to be honest.
Well, that's what we've always
agree.
called it, a horse
We know
bath.
what you were. Wet wipes and
cologne, brush your teeth, the whole thing, deodorant, all that. So it's nice to go back and freshen up. Then we went down to Corey Stewart's tailgate, which was absolutely electric, off the chain, as it always is. Paulie showed up down there. Me, Paulie, Hannah went into the game. And my friend Boggsy was going to be late to the game. And he goes, just sit in my seat. So I get there. We got to see the whole opening intro. We were like 5 rows up from the field. It was fantastic. And we all got to witness the announcement of Jerks and Profar running out. And I will tell you, I got a little misty-eyed. So did Hannah when he was running out. Got a little misty-eyed. Watched old Schulte come out and give him the big old hug. It was pretty cool to see yesterday. But then we went back to the room after a very, very long day and crashed really hard. And so she comes to work with me the next day because we're in one car. And then our babies are flying in this morning. Got to split a little bit early today to go pick them up. They're coming back from Colorado. We've been without them, and I miss them terribly. I can't wait to see them and cuddle them and all that stuff. And but it's great that you're here today, babe. We're going to need your help today.
I know.
All right, good.
Okay.
Benji, your day was a little bit different than ours.
It was, but it was fantastic. Just very busy. Had tons of hits on Channel 10, which was, by the way, amazing because I was going live from the Marriott Gas Lamp right outside Petco Park in East Village. And we're right there where everyone's coming out of the gate on the third base side. And everyone's just streaming by going, happy 7-year anniversary. Hey, man, happy 7-year. Just thanks to everybody we saw yesterday at Baja Rick's and then throughout the Gas Lamp and the East Village and at Petco Park. So many tier ones. It's such a fun day. It really should be a holiday. It feels like a holiday. Opening day in San Diego now. Like, I mean, it's such an event.
Dude, if
it needs to be a Friday is what it needs to be.
Boy, you're not kidding, Paulie.
And for then we have, we wouldn't be able to talk about it the next morning. We actually would because we have a show tomorrow.
We do.
Yes, we do. We absolutely have a show tomorrow. We have a live broadcast from 10 to noon for us. Now that's easier for us. I'll make a deal with Adam and the Padres in Major League Baseball. You move that sucker to a Friday, You're gonna have the best version of me, and by the best version, I mean 65 drinks. I mean, it was so fun yesterday when the sun came out. The drinks were flowing. You guys know I'm a teetotaler now, except for days like yesterday. Thanks to the tier ones that brought us multiple shots that we had to do in 15 seconds each. And then I leave there immediately. Corey's pouring giant vodka punches. He said he goes, the first batch was so strong, I had to split it into 2. That's how strong the batch was. Had about 5 glasses of that. And then we went and had another cocktail. And then we had a drink inside. I'm like, all right, bro, but I got a good night's sleep, not hungover in the slightest, which is also kind of scary. You're like, hey, if I
can do this.
My thought was this: if I start drinking early enough and I get in bed early enough, I feel great. I can do this job every day. Now that's a problem. You don't want to have that thinking because that's when you get in trouble. Hannah is like, "Where are you coming home?" You're like, "I'm in TJ. I'm not coming home. I don't know what you're asking me." So, man, what a great special day. A lot of love.
I'm not going to. So quit asking.
A lot of love yesterday. I did not see one, and maybe somebody else did. I'm gonna tell you what I saw and what I didn't see. I saw a community that was dressed to the nines in Padres gear. I saw a fan base that was salivating for baseball. I saw love. I saw happiness. I saw a little bit of overindulgence, but I didn't see anything crazy at all. I didn't see anybody stumbling down the street. I didn't see anybody get thrown through a window. And we were out and about, for a while. I didn't see any fights inside. I saw respectful people, oh, my bad, man, go ahead. I saw just a ton of love. And I saw, what I saw? I saw a savvy baseball fan base. That's what I saw. I saw them cheering for the right people. I saw them cheering at the right moments. I saw them being kind to their fellow man. I saw them reveling in the ballpark and everything it had to offer. It was a beautiful day, 10 out of 10, no question for me.
And if with the win also helps as well. So, it's always worse when everyone's streaming out after a tough loss on opening day, but a really great win that we can talk about this morning by the Padres. Had a little bit of everything.
It did,
honestly.
Man. It really did. It was rad.
It was a good baseball game. Almost felt like a playoff game in some respects, the way it was back and forth.
I saw people
two really
saying
good
that.
teams and bullpens coming in and big home runs. I mean, it was a really spectacular opening day.
It just was so much fun. Baby, did you have a good time?
I had a really good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you love about it?
The
Besides
margaritas.
being there with me.
You were honestly a little bit annoying.
How? Because I had a little bit overserved?
Yeah. You weren't overserved. You served yourself.
I was over self-served.
Yeah.
You can't say I was overserved when you're the
like
one.
The frozen yogurt of drinkers yesterday.
Right. I can't say I was overserved if I'm the one.
Should be more like a gas pump where it just shuts off automatically.
It just
at some
stopped,
point. You can't put any more in. But
I
It was interesting.
tried to shut it off.
When I got home yesterday, my wife goes, "What happened today?" And I go, what do you mean? She goes,
I was
well,
texting her.
Hannah texted me and said, "Your husband is a real trooper for what Steven's putting him through."
Me?
I was like, "Well, when was this?" She's like, "I don't know, probably 11:30 or something." I was like, "Tailgate." Yeah.
Tailgate.
But I was like,
No, not. It just went. We.
I had fun. I had a good time.
Okay, yeah, we had good time. But was he a little annoying?
I don't think so.
More than usual.
He's more
All
used
right.
to it than you are.
That's true in that setting. Yeah.
Man. Orthodox Emphasis College Woods made a small appearance yesterday. He did. Yeah. There might have been ripped a couple lung darts, which is what you do when you have a few cocktails.
There were children coming up to you, and you had to put aside your cigarette to take a picture with them. I was a little.
hi, kids. Don't do what I do. Once you're a respected member of the community and a public figure now, we're going to need more from you.
Yeah.
I'm nobody's role model. All right, come on, man. Can't a guy cut loose on opening day just every now and then? I mean, I'll be at the broadcast tomorrow. I got to drive tomorrow. I won't have a sip of alcohol. Won't have any tobacco. I will just drive down and be a professional. Oh, I'm getting just crushed in the chat. Just crushed in there. Yeah. Can a man enjoy a heater a couple times a year? Does that ever hurt anybody?
I don't know if you
Couple
want to be
times a
cigarette
year.
Steve on opening day.
Cigarette Steve walking around the tailgate. What's up? Give me another one of those. Yeah, College Woods was definitely there, man. Yeah. I don't want to.
We had fun though.
I don't want to. Don't let your kids be like me. Let them be like Ben.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ben should be everybody's
See, now
role model.
I'm working all day and
Yeah, you're
grinding. And,
Let him be like
I mean,
Paul, actually.
there's probably some sort of in between that you should strive for.
Yeah, it was a little old school me. I gotta let the tiger out of the cage every now and then, and the tiger goes crazy, man. You have to cut loose. Everybody should cut loose. Now I knew again I got a show today, so I shut the mother down, and I had probably 8 hours of sitting on my ass in a hotel room doing nothing but watching baseball while my wife snored next to me. That was pretty much the entire afternoon.
I've gotten some good sleep over the last couple of days.
It was really, really a fun time, man. I loved it. I love it so much. It's just my favorite time of the year when baseball's back. And then I got to lay there, Ben, and watch the rest of the Padres game, then right into the Dodgers-Tigers game, and then right into the Diamondbacks-Cubs game. I mean, I could not have been happier. I watched 1 second of the NCAAs last night, so I hope you guys are ready to have a riveting discussion on that.
Oh, God, that comeback by Texas Tech last night in overtime.
Did
down
they?
16 in the second
They did.
half.
Did they?
They did.
They
I didn't
lose?
watch actually much either. Arkansas lost after being up 13 with 4.5 minutes.
Does that
to
mean
go.
Texas Tech won?
Yeah,
Oh.
Texas Tech. Your
Texas
Red
Tech was
Raiders
down like 16 at one point. They were down 13.
Let's
with
go,
like
Red Raiders.
into
4
the
minutes.
Elite Eight. So yeah, I don't think we're going to talk a ton of basketball this morning because I didn't watch it either. So,
Yeah, good.
yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be baseball centric. It's going to be Padres centric today. And you're just going to help us get to 10 o'clock because we're all at some point going to hit a wall.
Yeah.
I think this morning.
I think that's probably fair to say.
Yeah, But again, yesterday was magical. It was truly an experience I will never forget from like 6 o'clock in the morning until I think I left downtown about 7:15, 7:20. It was pretty incredible.
Now, Prolific in our chat says, why is Ben's hat oversized like that?
It's not. We had a discussion.
Prolific, we had a full 5 to 10 minute conversation about Ben's hat before this show started. And the answer is none of us really know.
All right, give us what was your hypothesis for it again?
Well, I tried this hat today thinking
You've got it crooked, first of all. Like
He will.
it's like
I think
angled
it's-
down to the right.
I said
Yeah.
every time I wear a hat, Woods usually says that hat doesn't look good on you. So today
What a
I
good
decided
friend.
to go with one that I purposely didn't think looked good on me.
Are you trying to entrap me?
No, I was trying to think, well, maybe
What are you trying?
maybe
to
Reverse
I just
psychology?
maybe I have no sense of what looks good on my own head. So I'll go against my own instincts, George Costanza style, and go, okay, that hat I think is going to look terrible on me. And I picked it this morning just in the sense that, well, maybe I'm wrong and maybe this one will be right. But if you look in the chat, yeah, my big oversized hat. It's not, I mean, this is a standard hat to fit my head. Anything smaller would not fit my head. So
Yeah.
I can't get a smaller hat.
That's a fitted
per
hat.
se.
That's your
It's
size.
a fitted hat.
It's for you. It's your head is square, and that hat is square, and it's got the bulbs on the side. And I told you, use the hair dryer.
It's a 5950, so they're just a little bit higher.
Crowny.
I think it looks good. You're giving him a complex.
I'm not. I said
I
it's
don't
fine.
want to buy clothes that I then need to tailor myself with a hair dryer. Can't I just buy something that works for me? Is there not? Can I
I
just?
think it works. I think you're letting him stress you out.
Well, it's very yellow. It's the Padres spring training hat.
Okay.
Not as yellow as Elias Diaz's catcher's gear, which was the brightest shade of yellow I
It
think I've
was.
ever seen on a baseball diamond yesterday.
I'd like to have a serious conversation about Elias Diaz. A serious conversation.
Mr. Two Hits himself last night, yesterday.
It's fantastic. Great. I
If
wanna
there was
talk-
only a spot in the lineup where maybe you could only hit and not have to play defense. That'd be a great spot for him.
Has he ever caught a big league game before?
It was rough. That was rough to watch. I texted you guys. I said, I know it's game one. I know it's a game that we're winning, actually. but I can already tell the catching position is going to infuriate me.
Y'all are
I don't know if it's going to be
malcontents.
this weekend or next week or next month.
It was one
But
inning.
I know
for
it's
me.
going to happen.
I was infuriated after one.
It was a tough
half
first inning.
It was a really tough half inning.
Well, it's tough when you've got a knuckleballer on the mound. Oh wait,
Oh, wait,
that wasn't
no.
Matt Waldron.
I will have a conversation about it. Look, that's what we're gonna do the whole season. We're gonna nitpick things we don't like. It's a radio show. That's what we do. But there was a lot to like about yesterday's game, certainly.
Boy, what happened to the 2 hits?
That's it. You couldn't say anything to show. Well, I guess you missed 2 hits. Then what?
Good line drives. I mean,
Yeah.
it's well hard.
Yeah, hit the ball hard.
But
It's a great game. It's
yeah.
a great game. So much to love about it.
we will set the menu, which will be, again, Padres heavy on a Friar Friday, our first Friar Friday of the season.
Put your hat on backwards.
Backwards.
Yeah, put it on backwards. Now he looks like the kid from Sandlot.
Yeah, move it over a little bit. You want to get that
You
logo
squints.
lined up right
With
above your
my
nose.
logo,
There
yeah.
you go.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's,
Is his head crooked?
Is my head crooked?
I think you look better with it backwards.
It-
I'm
I
not
do
gonna
too,
lie.
actually.
I love it. I'm a sucker for a backwards hat.
Are you really?
Mhm.
Oh, nice to know after a decade.
Huh.
It looks good, man.
I really don't like it, but that's fine. Appreciate your input, everybody.
Sandlot, Ben.
Friar Friday, we'll tell you what we've got and the special guest that is coming up on the show at 8:35 this morning. Year 8 of
Limp-
Ben and Woods is now underway.
Limp Ben Skits. Limp Ben Skit. I did it all for the nookie. Come on. Oh, that's so good. Limp Biscuit. This could be the new bit. Ben sings Limp Biscuit coming up soon.
We will check traffic with Kelly Danick. We'll be back on a Friday with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First up, Prize Picks. It is baseball season, and it is your spot for daily fantasy every single night. You're watching the games. You can put together lineups with your favorite players, ones here in town, out of town. You can even combine sports, basketball, hockey, whatever you're watching. College basketball right now. Prize Picks makes it easy and fun. 10 million members, billions of dollars in winning. So people across the country are enjoying this. All you do is you set lineups with 2 to 6 players. You pick more or less on their stat projections. You can win up to 1,000 times your cash. Look for special squares. Yesterday I had Cooper Flag, more than 1/2 of 1 point. It's easy to come through on those special ones. Got a bunch of them on Tuesdays every single week. Taco Tuesday, they call it. You can check it out with Prize Picks, and they offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals back into your account in just about 15 minutes. Just sign up today. Download the website or download the app at the website at prizepicks.com and use the code KWFN to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's code KWFN. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup at Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
It is Friday with Ben and Woods, and we got a very Padres-centric show today, including coming up in just a couple of minutes, our first Padres wrap-up of the season, a victorious Padres wrap-up, and we will get all into the details of yesterday's 7-4 win over the Atlanta Braves.
Take your pants off.
It was fun. That was very satisfying yesterday.
So satisfying.
Very satisfying game.
The best. Loved it.
Against a team that you picked, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday to win the National League.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Atlanta Braves. So that's a really good win for your San Diego Padres yesterday. So we get the highlights from Jesse and Tony and our Padres wrap-up coming up in just a couple of minutes. 7 o'clock hour, we have Don't Do This on a Friday. More Padres talk. And then in our 8 o'clock hour, our first Friar Friday of the season, we will be joined by the Padres president of baseball operations and general manager. That's correct. AJ Preller is going to be with us today. Take a little victory lap. It was a very quiet offseason for AJ, and he's relying on a team that really is we talked about this yesterday. Consistency is really one of the things that Mike Schilt and the Padres are leaning on going into this year. Day one is any indication. That was a team that took what they did last year and ran with it. No fear when you're down a run late in the game.
Yep.
I don't know if we have the sound from Jackson Merrill that we got after the game, but
we'll find it.
We will find it. Essentially, though, he said, no, we never felt like we were. Well, I know we were down, but we felt like we were winning that game the whole time.
Love it, man.
Said, what did he say? He said, "We don't feel pressure, we apply pressure." What a quote from a 21 years old, first day of the season.
You guys, Mickey Mantle, like this is insane. God, dude. No, we don't feel pressure. We apply pressure. Then they do. That was their brand last year. So nice to see them carry that into game one. And man, God, he makes me tingly when that kid talks, dude.
We will play a little Take on Woods, 8:20. We got a round report in the 9 o'clock hour. And then we'll hit the weekend, except it's not totally a weekend for us, as we will be broadcasting live tomorrow morning again at Tom's Watch Bar right there on 8th outside Gallagher Square.
You guys tired of us yet?
We'll be on from 10 to noon tomorrow. So you get more Ben and Woods, a little bonus coverage, and we can talk about tonight's game tomorrow.
As you mentioned, we're going to have AJ Preller coming on at 8:35. Many in the chat are asking for unpaid shill Hannah and Carol Woods, my wife, to ask AJ Preller a question. Do you think you have it in you?
No, I get very nervous.
You do?
As you know.
So do we.
In the face.
So do
of
we.
people.
So do we. But you're not in the face. It's on.
I can't.
Well, if you can think of one, work on it. I'll set you up. I'll set
Okay.
you up sweetly. I'll take good care of you.
You will set her up.
I'll set her up with AJ.
With
Not like that. No.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
If he does want a new property in Encinitas, I could help him.
Okay, that's something that
That's
you
true.
could do, but
He may.
I don't think you should ask him a real estate question. I think you should ask him some sort of
It's the thing I know, though.
baseball. You know a little baseball. You're pretty good.
I am.
So we'll see.
I don't know. I'm already nervous. I don't want to talk about
I'll think of one and I'll set you up. I'll tee
Okay.
you up. All right.
So yeah, AJ Preller is going to join us at 8:35 this morning, and I'm sure he's feeling happy about how things turned out yesterday as well.
I bet he's very, very excited. And I know the entire fan base was just on cloud nine
Yeah.
yesterday. Let's do it again. Got to do it again today.
Yeah, Dylan Cease will be on the mound tonight. First night game of the season, 6:40, going up against an all-star from last year and Reynaldo Lopez. So another good matchup, good series here to start the season for the Padres.
God,
Tested
they
right
got
out
a
of the
good
gate.
team, Atlanta.
They do.
They do.
God, man.
I was
it
looking at
just-
the matchups for the weekend.
It's
I'm like,
crazy.
They're going to be good.
They're
And
going
Chris
to be
Sale
good.
said the same thing after the game about the Padres yesterday. So that is a good lineup on the other
Yeah.
side. Nothing easy for me. I mean, this is the reigning National League Cy Young Award winner who kind of figured it out, gave up 3 runs early, but then got through his 5 innings and, was in line for a win before the Padres came from behind. But he goes, that is a good team on the other side there. I think there was some mutual respect. Padres to the Braves, Braves to the Padres in that game yesterday. And both of those teams are in similar circumstances. Really good teams that everyone feels don't match up with the Los Angeles Dodgers this year.
Yeah.
In that same boat as like Dodgers. All right. And then the next tier of teams in the National League. And they both feel like, all right, we're definitely in that next tier of teams, at least in the NL.
I've watched all 3 Dodger games right now, and that have happened this year. I watched both of them as much as I could when they were in Japan, and then I watched most of the game yesterday. And I'll say this, man, they are going to be very, very, very difficult. Teoscar Hernandez hit a huge home run. That's all they needed. Boom. Now they fought back. Detroit Tigers, I think, left 15 men on base. We're 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. I mean, we've lived that life too. They could have easily won that game, but the Dodgers just held it down. They're now undefeated, 3-0 on the year, and they're going to be really, really tough to beat. I feel like if they falter, it's not going to be. I feel like it's going to be because of them. They're going, and I just don't see them beating themselves very much this year.
Yeah, I mean they faced the nastiest starting pitcher in baseball from last year, and it was a close game until that pitcher was out, and then the Dodgers had a chance later in the game to come through, and there's not. I don't see a lot of losses on that schedule.
I don't either.
Them, other than the weirdness of baseball. Yeah. They will be favored every single time they take the field this year.
Yeah, pretty heavily too. I mean, they looked really good. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the other games in baseball too. But first, I know you're nervous to interview AJ Preller, babe, but I know you're not nervous to talk about Eco Water. How much do you love Eco Water?
I am obsessed with Eco Water.
Yep.
Obsessed. I tell it to everybody. I talk about it at my office.
Yep.
I talk about my showers. I talk about my drinking water.
Yep.
I'm not a drinking water person.
No.
I find myself just guzzling water all day.
Yes.
It is so good. Even my kids are obsessed with it.
They're obsessed with it.
Can we brush our teeth with Eco Water?
We drink it in the shower.
They're so bummed they haven't had Eco Water for the past week. They're going to come back all crusty and they're going to need Eco Water to soothe them.
Colorado hard water, it's just not the same as Eco Water. You can get the system in your home just like we have in our home. I'm so happy that I finally did something right after 11 years of marriage, 10 years of marriage, brought it in. No, 8 years of marriage. How long have we been married? Doesn't matter. I got the Eco Water system put in, and she was skeptical, as she usually is. And then she started drinking it and said, man, this thing is such a game changer. So check it out for yourself, guys. Call 760-350-3338 or go to ecowatersocal.com. Try the Soft Life and alkaline water for only $9.95 a month. 50-3338 or ecowatersocal.com. Let them know Woodsy sent you because your water should be perfect.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I had to turn down, at least on 3 or 4 more occasions as the day went on, offers to buy me a shot. It really was constant all day long. I could not resist the peer pressure at Baja Rick's, but later in the day, I realized there's no way I'm going to make it through my workday if I continue at this pace.
Tier ones, I love you so dearly. Everybody that was there yesterday morning. Here's what I need, though, for the next time that we're out at a remote and shots are being brought to us, which we do appreciate
so much.
I need you guys to all get together and get on the same page so that we can keep the same types of alcohol. I can't do a shot of Jameson, follow it up with a tequila shot, and then, here's
another shot of Jameson.
Another Irish whiskey.
Oh, my God.
I know you said you didn't see too much bad behavior. That it was, and for the most part, people were very well behaved. But by the end of the game, when I was there, 5, 6 o'clock at night, there were a few people who had probably had a 1 or 2 too many.
Which is
a group of 3 guys who had come in to Soleil right there at the gas lamp where I was broadcasting live. They were sitting at a table. I think they all had like scotch on the rocks, and it was not their first. And they decided, no, it's fine. They were having a good time. They were bad guys, but they decided they really needed to get a picture with Ben Higgins.
Oh,
which is fine. I'm happy to do it. The problem was I was live on television at the moment, and the guy just didn't quite understand that concept. And I had 2 photographers who were there. Just hold on, just 1 second. Just let him finish. He's on live. He'll be done like 90 seconds. Just they kind of were trying to both run interference. And then I said, you go back to your table. I'll catch you in a second. I'll come over. And I did. And of course, they tried to buy me a drink, which I said, no, I'm good. You have another one because you need to finish your day strong here. But I appreciate all the tier ones yesterday and all the love that we got. It was fun.
It was really a special day. The Pod Squad and the Fryer bringing us a cake was one of the most special surprises. I had no idea that was coming, man. It was really, really beautiful. So nice to have all the tier ones out there. And look, you guys made us look so good in front of all of our bosses. Every boss was there yesterday. Sales manager, the clients were there. Clients were happy. Baja Rick was elated. And you guys just make us look so good, man. And it was really special to see you guys out there from the minute we kicked off the show. It was
when
crazy.
Baja Rick shows up to start cooking our lobster that morning, and he looks around and there's like 3 people there, it ain't a good look.
That's not a good look.
When he shows up, though, I think I saw him walk in about 7 o'clock, and that place was packed.
It was jamming, dude.
And I'm like, this is what you get with the Ben and Woods program.
I'm an anxious fella. I am an anxious guy, and I worry about things that are out of my control a lot. I can't control how many people show up to a remote, but I worry about it every single time we have a remote. And yesterday I was worried, and then took about 3 minutes for my fears to be assuaged, Ben, as I walked in and went, the tables are filling up. We haven't even turned the mic on yet. So it feels so good for us. Thank you. You keep that kind of stuff, man. Like if you like our show, that's the kind of stuff that keeps it going. That's how we are able to keep our jobs for the next however long we do this. But it was awesome. And plus, you guys are just so kind and sweet and brought us gifts. And it was great. It was just a great day. I loved it. I can't wait for next opening day, man. It was amazing.
All right. I actually did. Oh, yeah. You've got your loose cannabis shirt on.
Oh, yes.
Oh, shoot. I should have worn
Ben's loose cannabis. I actually did not because I was working. I have not. And I kind of saved it for this moment. Didn't get to hear Jesse's calls, like the Gavin Sheets home run and everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen because I knew I'd get to do it this morning. So after traffic, first Padres wrap up of the season coming up next, and we'll get into the details of yesterday's 7-4 win coming up here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Crystal Geyser, Alpine Spring. Just one accident to mention here, northbound side of the 163, right at the westbound 8 connector ramp. This vehicle went off the roadway, got stuck in the ice plant over to the right shoulder. I've taken that route numerous times. I can see exactly how that happened. That's northbound 163 at the westbound 8. Just take it extra carefully there. Fortunately, very quiet elsewhere around the county. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! Yeah!
It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
Yeah!
Give me a do damage.
Do damage!
Petco Park, downtown San Diego, and opening day of the 2025 baseball season as the Padres welcome the Atlanta Braves to America's finest city. 1987. 2-2, bounce to the right side, charged by Jake, flip to second one, Bogarts to first, in time, and an inning-ending double play. Braves loaded the bases in the top of the first inning against Michael King, but they do not score. Here's Adrian Johnson.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is safe. Atlanta retains their challenge.
So the run scores. 1-2 pitch, looped into center field. That'll get down a base hit. Fernando scores to tie it. Manny's on his way. Harris's throw to the plate kicks off the mound. Not in time. A 2-run single, Jackson Merrill, and the Padres lead it 2-1. To a pitch. And Albies hits it in the air to deep right field. Fernando's just going to turn around and watch. This one gonna go. 2-run homer, Ozzie Albies, who has now driven in all 3 Atlanta runs. And the Braves hop on top. It's 3-2. Hard hit grounder to first base. Olsen has it on the bag, throws home high, and Machado slides in safely. So they got it out at first base, but Merrill does, in fact, get the run home, and we are tied again. It's 3-3. Hard hit in the air to left center field. Lockridge backing up into the gap at the wall. It's going to go. Home run, Austin Riley. His first hit of the year is a go-ahead homer here in the 4th inning. And the Braves lead it 4-3. Matsui paws at the belt. And the payoff pitch to Albies, swung on, hit in the air, deep to left field. Lockridge backing up in the corner, leaps up, and he makes the catch. Right in front of the fence in the left field corner. Lockridge hopped and made the play to end the inning. Albies missed by that much. Deep swing, sends it in the air, center field, straight away and deep. Harris is going back. He is at the wall, leaps up, and it's going to go! A home run! A home run! Pinch hit home run as Gavin Sheets ties it 4-4 here in the 7th. From Bummer, swung on, hit in the air to right field. Long run, Kelnick on the move towards the corner near the line, makes the catch. Plenty deep to get Hayward home. He will tag and score, and the Padres are back in front. It's 5-4.
Job well done.
Manny swings, grounds it fair up the third baseline. That's going to roll and roll. Fernando scores. Machado on his way to second base. It's an RBI double, his second double of the day, and the Padre lead is 6-4. 7-4 San Diego in the 9th. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Albee swings, grounds it to second base. Cronenworth backs up for the hop. He's got it. Throw to first is in time, and the ball game is over. Robert Suarez comes on to close it out, and a 7th inning to remember for the Padre offense as they come from behind and beat the Braves 7-4 here on opening day.
After 38 come-from-behind wins last year, a major reason why the Padres won 93 and made the playoffs. They start 2025 with another come-from-behind victory, a late and close victory as they beat the Atlanta Braves 7-4 in front of a sellout crowd, and not only a sellout crowd at Petco Park, but the largest opening day crowd in Petco Park history, over 45,000 people enjoying a beautiful San Diego afternoon and almost like a perfect opening day.
Yeah,
it's just
pretty much
how you'd script it. I'm sure Michael King would have liked to have gone 7 innings and strike out 10. He only went 2 2/3 and had a little trouble with his command. But the Braves are a good lineup. You know, they knocked him out of the game. Alec Jacob got a huge out to get out of Michael King's jam there in the 3rd. And then Jurickson Profar made him work so much that then he ended up giving up the home run and some trouble. But after that, the bullpen was outstanding for the Padres. Kind of the unsung heroes of the game yesterday, Woods, with Yuki Matsui, Jeremiah Estrada, One pitch for Wandy Peralta, your winning pitcher on that one pitch you were just mentioning. It's something right there. Jason Adam, and then Robert Suarez pitching around an E and a walk in the ninth. The tying run's on for the Braves, but locks down his first save of the season as the Padres get the win.
Well, I mean, let's talk about what we liked out of yesterday's ball game, and then we could talk about things maybe we didn't like and need to be cleaned up again. You know, it's game one. You did come away with a victory. We don't complain about victories in here, certainly, but I obviously loved the way that Fernando Tatis Jr. set the tone yesterday. I love how active he was. I loved him swiping 2 bags, and I loved our captain with a couple of doubles, also swiping 2 bags yesterday. How do you mention yesterday's game without talking about Gavin Sheets off the bench, revamped swing, brand new team, day one? Gives your team that was to tie it, right? In the 7th,
tied it.
And led to a big inning.
How about Jesse's call here?
Harris is going back. He is at the wall, leaps up, and it's going to go! A home run! A home run!
Double.
Pinch hit home run as Gavin Sheets ties it 4-4 here in the 7th.
Loved it, man. I was freaking out when I saw that.
I want to echo. I think my favorite thing about the game yesterday, well, I mean, there's so many good things. Jackson Merrill was fantastic.
Jackson Merrill,
2-run single on the top of the first, bottom of the first.
4 RBI, and a sensational, almost home run robbing catch in center field. They kept it a 1-run game in the 5th inning when Drake Baldwin hit one deep to center. Jackson picking up right where he left off last year. The 5 stolen bases, though, 2 by Annie, 2 Tatis, and 1 by Xander. That's Mike Schilt. He is an aggressive manager. They're going to push it. They're going to put, as Jackson Merrill said, pressure constantly on the other team. That's a Schilt hallmark right there. Will it backfire occasionally? Sure. Yeah, but yesterday it didn't. You know, some close plays. Manny said he even thought he might have been out on one of them, but he didn't know if they didn't have a challenge. He thought his foot may have come off the bag, but they ended up stealing 5 bases. That was critical.
Playing against a team like that will drive you crazy. I mean, it will absolutely drive you crazy when you have guys that can put the ball in play. They're constantly moving. You're in the infield, and you're going, all right, they got first and third. He's probably going to go, but look who's at the plate. All right, you cover. Now I cover. Then he goes the opposite way. It truly is maddening, and it's so hard to do. And that's Schilty baseball. And really, that's the Cardinal way, man. That's when you want to see it in action. That's what it is.
I don't know why it surprised me, but in the 7th inning when Jason Hayward was the pinch runner, I didn't expect him to be a pinch runner very often this year.
Well, it worked out. When it was 3-2 and runners were going to be going, he's like, all right, let's get why not do it from the get-go?
They threw over twice as soon as he came into the game.
Yeah, I promise you there was a reason.
There was a reason.
It wasn't, maybe we should pinch run here.
It wasn't like he was late.
It was, I'm sure, if this count gets to 3-2 and we're putting runners in motion, then we will pitch run. Otherwise, let's save that bullet for later. But if we get to 3-2, we're going to put him out there. Now,
and it worked.
That's partly
first to third and then scored.
That's partly because Brandon Lockridge was in the starting lineup. In days when he's not starting, that'll be Brandon Lockridge's role to come off as the speed late in the game. And when he's not there, that leaves the Padres a little lacking in terms of the pinch running department. I don't think you'd always pick 36-year-old to come in and pinch run in a lot of situations, but it worked out for the Padres there, and Hayward came around and scored. I do want to point out one thing, because this is why baseball players will die on the hill of RBI is an important stat.
Yeah.
Where the sabermetricians, the new age baseball stat guys will downplay RBI. Like if you don't have anyone on base, that's, doesn't mean you're a bad hitter because you're not driving in anyone. You need help to get runs batted in. If you look at Jackson Merrill's stat line, 1 for 3 with a single on a sac fly. So that's a 250 OBP in 4 at-bats. He got on base once, and just a 333 slugging. So that's a 580. That's bad. That's like a bad day offensively.
Right.
He had a 580 OPS for the game.
4 stakes.
But the way his at-bats transpired, the clutch hit in the first inning.
The out slider away that he just stayed through and just flipped. It was unbelievable.
Getting runs home twice with a runner at third base on the hard grounder to first, and then the fly ball deep to right field. That is professional hitting on a level that you usually don't see from a guy until he's been in the league for years and years. The fact that Jackson Merrill did that at 21, I can tell you that a guy like Manny Machado is going to, and Mike Schultz certainly, is going to appreciate what Jackson Merrill did in that game so much. And he was rewarded with 4 runs batted in. Someone will say, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, what was his slugging percentage? He had 1 single in the game. It does matter.
Yeah, you won the game because of it.
It does matter in individual circumstances like that game. Jackson Merrill was huge despite getting just 1 single offensively.
It's the weird way that people think about baseball these days. You will never show me a player at the end of the year with 115 RBI, and I'll say, what a turd player that guy is. Never. Hey, I don't care who it is. I don't care what he hit. That guy drove in 115 runs last year. The object of this game is to what? On offense. Do what?
Score
runs. And to have a guy that can do it in situations, to be able to hit a sacrifice fly, to be able to have a 2-strike approach like that, to drive in 2 runs to get you the lead, forget it. Give me that guy. Give me 100 of those guys. I want guys that can drive in runs. And I get it. I know their point. I know their point. I see their point. But you will never be able to convince me that driving in runs is not an important part of baseball.
Merrill
Never.
did what he was tasked with doing when he went to the plate pretty much every single time.
Yeah.
And by the way, that single against a lefty, a Cy Young lefty,
yes,
in Chris Sale with 2 outs in that 2 strikes, and battling against a guy like that shows just how far he's come. And he started well. But he didn't hit lefties great in the first half of the season. Second half of the season, he hit over 300, I believe, against left-handers. Figured that out as well.
How about Luis Ariz? Massively unselfish ABs all day long, doing his job. Doesn't show up in, with a bunch of hits and things like that, but he had a sac fly as well. Moved guys over. He was fantastic.
And he gets an offer for
his trouble.
For his troubles. We'll continue talking Padres baseball coming up in hour number 2.
Let's get negative.
There's
next.
a couple. You can nitpick a little bit.
Negative.
Coming up next with Ben Woods, the 97.3 The Fan. You're really going to do it. You're going to try to get negative after that day.
Sure.
7-4 win, opening day, all the good vibes. And you want to rain on the Padres parade.
I don't want to rain. Maybe just
morning.
Sprinkle. What's the matter? What are you babbling about over there?
Don't question your ability to be negative.
I am got a PhD in pissing and moaning.
Oh, I know.
As do you, though.
I do not.
Yeah, right. Fairly negative.
How about these umpires? My God, one spring training with the ABS system, and I'm ready to just
throw
all of the umpires on the unemployment line.
I'll say this.
They're terrible.
Second pitch of the game is right down the middle. Right down the middle, and Michael King does not get the call, and I started to twitch.
I'm screaming. I'm like, come on. I'm like, oh, crap. That's next year. That
we actually, me, Paulie, and Hannah went up to, we didn't have seats for the game. So we went up to the Odyssey suite for I always feel weird. I've said this before. I always feel weird going in there.
As you should.
Right.
You were unwelcome.
Well, I was also intoxicated, but I was keeping it together. Then the game started, and it was Michael King strike. Michael King, 96. Right down the middle. Umpire's like, ball. I'm like, what? I go, it's right down the dick. And it's elbowing me. Don't scream right down the dick in here. And I was like, it's a baseball term. Yeah. And she said, just shut up. Just stop. And, the bosses are in there, and they're kind of lurking over you. John from John and Tammy is down in the suite as well. And we're all having a grand old time watching the game. And the first thing I noticed, Ben, is Elias Diaz using a skillet? Did he tie a skillet onto his hand? And is he trying to catch Michael King's nasty ass movement with an actual cast iron skillet tied to his hand?
It's the first game. Maybe the glove isn't totally broken in yet.
All right.
New glove, new season.
Counterpoint. Maybe on the first game of the year, you use a glove that is broken in. Anything you throw, I will rebut right at you. I mean, the ball's hitting him in the bonk, clank, bonk, clank, bonk, clank. He's shifting over, clank, clank. And here's the thing. Michael King did not have his best stuff yesterday. Only made it 2 2/3. That matters. That matters. If Elias Diaz right now is looking like he knows what he's doing, Michael Kingman has more confidence.
Paul, who put together this highlight
John
reel?
Boy.
John
Boy did it.
That was all the first inning.
That was the first inning. I'm rocking back and forth like in a straitjacket. Like, somebody get him out of there. Did he lose an eye last night? Like, what's happening? His depth perception's off. Get him out.
Now, Michael King wasn't exactly sharp either with his command.
Wasn't. But again, a pitcher, I feel like a pitcher is more likely to, that one right there, but catch the ball. Just catch it. I feel like a pitcher is more likely to get locked in if the catcher doesn't look like he's never caught before and is using a cast iron skillet behind the plate.
It's right there in the position name.
Catcher.
It
so reminds me of my little league. You know what it reminds me of? Paulie and I went out to fantasy camp a few years ago, the very first one we ever went to. And they do the thing where they say, what positions does everybody want to play? A couple guys sign up. They say, I want to be a catcher. So I was talking to one, and I said, have you ever caught before? He goes, never. I go, you're 50. And he goes, yeah, I've never caught. I always wanted to. And I go, why don't you try left field? If you've never, just maybe try some other positions. I said, it's so demanding. It's really hard. I go, by the way, the pitcher's throwing the ball at you. There's an umpire leaning over, breathing into your ear, and the guy's going to swing and miss. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to clank. So I don't want to try it. Guess who had to pitch to him that day? I did. Guess who gave up 75 runs on 75 pass balls? I did. Guess who was throwing it right down the middle? And that's what it reminded me of. It took me back. And I think I lost that game, first game, 75-0. On 75 pass balls. And it gets a pitcher really frustrated, and it's hard to lock in when the guy can't control it back there.
Well, he did get 2 hits, 2 sharp singles in the game. And, offensively, we're not expecting a ton out of that position. We'll see. Maybe we'll see Martin Maldonado tonight. He came in late in the game as a replacement after they pinch ran for Diaz, so we get to see Maldonado for a second. Who knows if he gets his first start coming up? But it was tough. It's the first game of the season, so everyone was going, get rid of Yuli Gurriel. He went 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Jake Cronenworth, another tough season coming up. Jackson Merrill went 0 for 4 in the first game last year. It's one game. You're facing a Cy Young Award winner. Jake in particular got some nasty left-handed stuff from Chris Sale.
Jake looked flummoxed up there.
There was a reason that I thought maybe Jose Iglesias should be in the lineup. Schulte went with his guy, his veteran, Jake Cronenworth on opening day, which is fine, but the 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts can't shock anyone against that starter, and having to face him, I think, 3 times before they took him out of the game. So, I'm not going to reserve judgment after one game. Don't think Gavin Sheets is going to finish with a 5,000 OPS, which is what he currently has. I'm assuming that Fernando is not going to hit 750 this year, but I did like what I saw. I also have to temper my criticism when it comes to the guys who had one not great game to start the season. But it was, definitely behind the plate, I think.
I'll take the 2 knocks, though, from Diaz.
Definitely will take the 2 knocks. Everyone can have maybe some opening day first inning jitters as well. He looked a little better after that, after he got somewhat settled in and comfortable. But he's also a guy that the Colorado Rockies let go last year. He was never going to be some savior who's going to be a top 5 catcher in baseball. That's
tough.
Man. This is
a tough look.
Fill in the position for another year until hopefully Ethan Salas is ready to take over on a full-time basis. So it doesn't make sense to sign a guy to a 5-year contract and, block Ethan Salas, but you do need to find someone who can play until your kid, who's just 19 years old, is going to actually be ready, or 18 years old is going to be ready to come up to the big leagues, which probably isn't this season, if we're being totally honest. And if it is, it's very late in this season at the earliest. Even next season is probably pushing him.
What's the harm in starting him tonight? Behind the plate. Let's be honest. What is the real harm in starting him behind the dish tonight against the Atlanta Braves? Probably can handle Ronaldo Lopez. Lopez's velo is down a tick. I was talking to some Braves fans yesterday. They're very high on Dylan Cease against their team tonight. But then again, I was really high on Chris Sale against our team last night. So baseball is funny. You never know what can happen. But no, I'm kind of half kidding when I say what could go wrong with starting Ethan Salas behind the dish. Defensively, Ben, he's ready. I mean, he's ready defensively. He's ready to play. If he was hitting, if he could get in there and hit 250.
Defensively, he was ready last year.
Defensively, he looks unbelievable. I mean, he really, really does. And so, again, there's a couple other things to notice. Yeah, Gurriel did not look good. He did not have great ABs yesterday. I did see our buddy Clark tweet out something, hey, listen, if anyone's looking for a grain of something to chew on, bat speed actually looked pretty good for Yuli Gurriel and has come up a lot from, his last couple of stints when he was playing in the big leagues. It's something that he worked on. If he does end up barreling one, he can hit it a long way because the bat speed is there. So that's I guess, a small positive, but didn't look great in the ABs yesterday. Crony's going to be Crony, played fine defense. You know what I mean? Like the thing that bugged me to no end is the Xander error in the 9th inning. That just cannot happen. It just cannot happen. And I do wonder, too, in the 9th, Schulte, do we have somebody that's a skosh taller, maybe that can play first base? Because I do feel like somebody that's a skosh taller could make that play and not have to leap into the air like Luis Ariz. I mean, it's no joke. Like, the big target at first base is a real thing.
First basemen tend to be your 6'4" types. Yeah. Just it gives them some extra reach on throws that are up. It's also why they teach infielders now, hey, if you're going to miss down, bounce it, and because you can always catch a bounce. But if it's too high, nothing the first baseman can do about it.
But I'm telling you, I mean, that play from Xander, it was a clean pick, like picked it clean. Body's moving in the right direction, just gets under it. It works underneath it, as Mudd always says. And the ball just sails on him. And it's like, hey, man, this is the 9th inning. This is that's an out we need every single time, 100% of the time.
Turned what should have been a stress-free 9th inning into Robert Suarez into a 24 pitch. He also got squeezed by the umpire. Schulte got hot. There was that pitch, the changeup that hit the corner. Nasty. Should have been a strike 3. Now he got the guy out, but that's a couple more pitches you got to throw. And who knows? Is Robert Suarez even available tonight? Early in the season, you don't really want to go back-to-back days for a guy who threw 24 pitches. So, the bullpen is already a bit taxed after the first game of the season.
100%. I mean, your starter only goes 2 2/3. It's going to be important today for for Dylan Cease to go out and give you some length and some girth on the mound tonight.
He's the right guy for it. I mean, if you're looking for someone to eat some innings, Dylan Cease generally pitches deep into games.
Kudos again to Yuki Matsui for a really, really nice outing yesterday. I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. Yuki was fantastic yesterday. Wandy came in, got the one ground ball he needed, ended up vulturing the win, which, again, when we talk about pitchers' wins not meaning very much these days, come in, get one out, and got that ground ball he needed. Padres win. It was great, man. I loved it. You know what I loved seeing this team do yesterday? I was watching at the same time I had the Yankee game on, and Devin Williams was in to close the game. And who are they playing? The Brewers?
Yeah.
Does that sound
Brewers.
right? Yeah.
That's correct.
So they're talking about how the Yankees really just rely on the 3-run homer. And they're actually, no, it was the Dodger game. They were talking about Gleyber Torres now being a part of the Detroit Tigers. And he said, this is going to be different for Gleyber. In New York, you get on, you wait for somebody to hit a home run. You're not run. They don't send a lot of guys. They don't run a lot. He said, Detroit, they're going to be moving. So Gleyber actually was stealing third base in the 9th inning or something. And he said, this is the different styles of baseball that teams play. The San Diego Padres yesterday, Ben, and moving forward, that's what they do. They get guys on, they get guys over, they get guys in. They're not afraid to play from behind. They don't wait for the 3-run homer. They play a different brand of baseball. And I got to tell you, it's friggin' satisfying to watch. I love that kind of baseball. And everybody believes in the next man up theory. I don't love Luis Arraez sacrifice bunting a couple of times yesterday, but against a Chris Sale, and you got a guy on in front of you, I'm not super mad at it. I'm really not.
It was in the right situation. For a bunt.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to get on base, start something. Like he had runners on the bat. I understand it.
I trust that guy. I trust him and his approach and what he thinks he needs to do 100% of the time.
I thought the exact same. I was watching it and I go, if he thinks it's the right situation to bunt there, the hit king.
I don't think Mike Schilt told him you
guys,
have
we got
to bunt here.
We have to stop.
Decided that.
Fans, you have to stop tweeting that. You have to stop tweeting it because on no planet is Mike Schilt giving Luis Arraez a bunt sign. On no planet. Never. He doesn't. You know how much I bet Mike Schilt talks to Luis Arraez about hitting? Zero. I bet he never says a word to him other than, hey, bud, have some fun today. Never. I know. Hey, if you get a chance in the first to lay one down, I want you to do that. It's never happened. It's never going to happen. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just telling you. I've talked to Skip about his approach when he had Luis Arraez. He goes, what am I going to tell him about hitting? I don't see a word of that guy. Do what you think you need to do. He knows if he needs to go to left. He knows if he needs to pull it. He knows if he needs to lay one down. There's certain guys you don't mess with. He's one of them. So don't tweet it. Makes you look foolish. They're not doing that.
Want to talk about some of the other games in Major League Baseball on opening day yesterday as well, including the rest of the National League West, how those teams looked. We can get to that coming up at the bottom of the hour. Up next, though, we got Don't Do This, and Major League Baseball and their technology department was wearing it yesterday around the time of the first pitch of the Padres game.
I'm telling you, man. What are you guys doing out there?
We can get into that and more coming up after a check of traffic with Kelly Danig. Ben and Woods continuing on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, listen up, homeowners. Don't go through another year with all that high-interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. With their rapid equity loan, makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast, no appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. With their AI-driven technology, you can get approved and funded in as little as a day. I've told you about the client that got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, getting themselves out from underneath, saving over $1,500 a month. Low fixed rates, lightning fast transfers. You can do it too. Consolidate your debt, improve your home, take control of your finances today. Imagine next Friday, you are credit card debt free. How about that? Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com. Get your free rate quote now with no hard credit pull at 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
This could be an opportunity to re-record any of those sound bites. They've worked very well for us for 7 years
That's
now.
Right. 7 years in
That's a
day.
segment we started within the first about a month of the show or so, and it's gone on strong ever since. And people were wondering, whose voice is that? They often want to know. That is Hannah Nancarrow Woods.
There she
who
is.
Says it.
Sweet angel.
What does it sound like
do
live?
this.
All right, hold on. You just stepped on
Sorry,
it.
I didn't know.
Here we go. Do it clean.
Don't do this.
There it is.
Go fresh. You can
Sounds so
update it.
familiar.
Yeah.
All right, I will get us started. As the first games of the season were getting underway yesterday, including the Padres and the Atlanta Braves, I started seeing it in my feeds across the country. Fans irate as the MLB.TV app was down. You tried to click on watch the game. You paid your $150 for the season, watch all your out-of-market games, or in the case of Padres games, in-market games as well. And you got an error message at the start of the season that they were unable to. This operation couldn't be completed. MLB Media Player, MLB Media Client Manager, unknown context at $103D 42 DAC Media Client error 0 dot parentheses. Okay, that is. I mean, you're so excited for opening day. First pitch, you don't want to miss it. Pomp and circumstance, and that is. I can't even imagine the stress. I'm going to assume that the people who are in the technology, the MLB technology offices, were running around like insane people. Like, what's going on? We tested this. We've worked on it. We upgraded everything. We were ready to go. And what is happening here?
Tough scene. I hear at least twice a day that radio is dying. You know who was there for you though yesterday?
Radio was.
Old Jesse and Tony.
Yeah,
yes,
didn't even miss a
no
beat.
playback error for them.
No. Just tune in and you can listen to the very, very dulcet tones of Jesse Agler and Tony Gwynn
It
Jr.
was so good to hear them
It was.
for a few innings on my drive home yesterday. There was like a foul ball towards Tim Leeper at third.
Yep.
He fielded it. He tossed it down the line to the ball girl down the left field line. And Jesse kind of went a little Kevin Harlan there. I wish I would have pulled it. He was like, and there's the ground ball. She scoops it up. What a play by the ball. Like, it was kind of like something Kevin Harlan would do in like the middle of a read or something, or a streaker on the court.
Yes, somebody tweeted yesterday, man, what an incredible job MLB is doing marketing the team. Started the season randomly in Japan, has a 10-day gap till actual opening day. That one I understand. You need the travel time and all that. It's important to go play in Japan. We do need to help grow the Dodgers brand. So, yes, it is very important we continue to send the Dodgers to Japan so they can own that entire country.
Their daily, like, multi-million-dollar marketing deals in Japan that they announce?
See, no, like, they don't announce them. Bob Nightingale announces them every day. Bob Nightingale just every day slurping off the Dodgers and their newest marketing deal. Oh, my God. They just signed a deal with the Japanese mayonnaise. This is going crazy. Oh, my God.
Why is that surprising?
Japanese shoelaces are on the board.
That's what they should be doing.
Yeah, bro, but I don't need Bob. Is he a Dodgers beat reporter or is he a USA Today columnist? It's go look at his feed. I'm not making this up. Here's another one. Oh, my God, another deal. So the Japan series, that makes sense. This guy also says you also have opening day on during the same day and time as March Madness.
I saw that take yesterday as well. Like, why not pick a different day that you can just own and not go up against college basketball games? Do you agree with that, though?
Yes.
You think you'd rather have it on Wednesday?
They could have it on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
You don't have. I mean, it
you
works
guys
out
were just
well.
saying you
That
wanted
feels
it on
like
Friday.
that feels like
Move it on
surrender.
Friday.
To move your biggest
More Sweet
opening
16 games tonight.
I think that feels like surrender. Moving it to a Tuesday or a Wednesday opening day. I don't know.
You already do Wednesday day games all year long, anyways.
I mean, if the Padres had played a later game, because sometimes the opening day is like at 4:00, and the Aztecs happened to be playing the Sweet 16 at the same time, I would have been losing my mind.
Right.
It didn't matter yesterday. I didn't care that I missed some basketball.
Did that not happen 2
It
years
did.
ago?
It did happen.
It did happen.
It was the timing. There was a little bit of
Because the
overlap.
Padres had the rain delay.
Yeah, it did happen a couple years ago. So it is possible that opening day can now coincide with the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, well, and then they, of course, had the app issues. It was.
Now they got fixed fairly quickly, and I mean, I've actually never had a lot of trouble with the app. It's worked for me well, so I want to give them credit and be fair. But what went wrong yesterday? I got no idea. I imagine it's hard to stress test something in the off season. Like, hey, everything looks good, we're dialed in, and then all of a sudden, hundreds of thousands of people go at the same time, and something unexpected happens, and you got to react. We'll see if they can dial it in the rest of the season. We can forgive them for a 20-minute faux pas.
No, listen, I get called a boomer a lot on this show, but old cable televisions never let your old pal Woodsy down either. It's rarely. I mean, it's expensive, but streaming.
Have you ever heard the expression "the cable is out"? Because I have.
Yeah, it doesn't really happen much though during Padres games, does it? It's the streaming that gets you. The streaming gets us all the time. Listen, it's your world. I'll be here paying my $700 a month for cable and watching these games. I don't understand this whole feud that's going on between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James. He does not like LeBron James. LeBron James does not like him. LeBron James just chewed him out publicly for ripping on his kid. You can go either way on that. Many people have said, hey, Bronny's a professional basketball player. Criticism is going to come with the job, and I do agree with that. That being said, there's a very clear I can't use the term.
I saw an apology like just a few days ago from Stephen A.
Yeah,
well, look, I might have been wrong.
Well, yesterday he went on First Take. And this war of words is going back and forth between them, but here was what he had to say yesterday.
I suggest that he be happy with the things that I haven't brought up. I never brought up really and never really discussed why you were not at Kobe Bryant's memorial service. I never really brought up or discussed why you did not attend Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame induction when that man was directly responsible for you capturing a championship for the first time in your career. I brought up none of that. I didn't bring up the fact that even though when people had asked, you had alluded to what had happened tragically to your son, and thank God he's okay with his heart condition. I didn't bring up the fact that even though you couldn't go to the Hall of Fame induction of Dwayne Wade weeks earlier, you were out of the country on business. I didn't bring that up. That's your personal business.
He just
Okay?
did, though. All right, so that you get the gist of it. He's doing the bit where it's like, no, I never, Paulie, I never talked about that time I saw you take $20 out of Adam's wallet. Ben, I never talked about that time I saw you steal those Coachella tickets. I would never bring that up on the air.
Come on.
It's like, hey, shut up, man. But anyway, what happened? The don't do
4
this.
years ago, Adam.
The don't do this is for Stephen A. Smith, who was dead wrong. Kobe Bryant, or LeBron James was absolutely at Kobe Bryant's memorial service.
I thought I remember him speaking.
So if you get on there and you're going to do it, you better make sure that you've got the proof of what you're saying is correct.
Stephen A. is he's a talented guy and occasionally has some really good stuff, but he is undoubtedly an opportunist. And he sees a market in going after LeBron.
Is it because Skip is gone, basically?
Maybe he sees the attention that he's getting. He's getting all kinds of interview requests. He's all over everywhere. And he is an opportunist who is now taking advantage of the moment.
Yeah, he's turned into Hawk Tua.
Stephen A. coin is coming out anytime soon, I'm sure.
He's Hawk Tua now. It's sad, man. It's sad to see.
And I don't think he'd even deny it. I do think Stephen A. has a bit of a conscience, and that's why he'll apologize for something that's wrong where Skip may never have done so. But
that's true.
He's clearly
That's right. I said it.
He's clearly an opportunist.
It's true.
You know, he's made a lot of money on that job.
He did come
With
out.
all due respect, shut the hell up.
He did come out and say, "Oh, I misspoke. He actually was there. I don't take back anything else I said, but that I was wrong about."
So. You don't want to make an enemy out of me.
It's my favorite.
And I'm looking right into the camera, and I'm going to say it again. You do not want to make an enemy out of me. I'm not having it.
So good.
Kevin Durant, I think.
Yeah, spit on that thing.
All right, finally, some do this for a Friday.
DD mega doo-doo.
Very nicely done by the San Diego Padres yesterday. Got to the press box, and very crowded press box on opening day, but there was one seat that was left empty with a beautiful bouquet of white flowers, and they had the spot still reserved for Bryce Miller of the San Diego Union Tribune, who, of course, passed away last week after a battle with cancer at the age of 56. He always used to see Bryce sitting there on the front row. Had a spot for years and years at Petco Park, and it was a nice, touching tribute by the Padres to remember Bryce yesterday on opening day, a day that Bryce loved to be at, just like the rest of us, you know, in San Diego. He was always there and always excited to start writing about a new baseball season.
I thought that was a very classy move. You guys did? I wasn't here on Monday last or this week actually. You guys did shout out to your family.
We did.
Okay,
we did.
I missed it. So shout out to
had a full segment for Bryce.
Right.
Shout out to his family.
Great dude.
Incredibly classy guy.
Love him, man. I always feel bad because I'm such kind of a jerk, and he was such a professional, you know. But I always enjoyed every time I talked to him.
And that is don't and do this for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we've talked about the Padres 7-4 win. You want to join us? We could try opening the phone lines, 833-288-0973. I'm kind of out of my mind. Although I do want to talk about some of the other NL West action on opening day as well. We can get to that coming up here at the bottom of the hour next on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, listen, I don't know what your weekend plans are, but if you're in the market for a new car or truck, highly recommend that you head on down to La Mesa and stop by Sedano Ford. See my pal, Manny Sedano, proud local and veteran-owned dealer. Got some really, really great deals for you. March is almost over, so I'd get in there ASAP. Ford F-150 Lightning, just $99 a month. The Bronco Badlands, one of my favorite vehicles on the road, just $275 a month. And, of course, the Ford Maverick gets you about 35 miles a gallon. Hits the road at $275 a month. That's more cash in your pocket for, less money you got to spend on gas. But the other thing I love about Sedano Ford is their service. They've got their mobile service. Will race right to you. If you need an oil change, get something looked at on your car, they will do it, man. So head on over to Sedano Ford in La Mesa this weekend. Again, if you're in the market for a new car or truck, your dream car or truck, let Manny Sedano and his local veteran-owned crew hook you up, take care of you Sedano style. They're going to work with you regardless of what your credit is, man. You can get in there and get the job done, drive out in like that brand new Bronco Badlands today, tomorrow. Head on over to SedanoFord.com. Check out the inventory. You will be cruising all the way home in your new dream car from Sedano Ford. Again, check out SedanoFord.com. Let them know Woodsy from 97.3 The Fan sent you, please.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Like to say a hello to everybody watching us on our YouTube stream this morning. I see some big numbers in there. Not surprising after opening day, although we did hear that one place in particular is currently watching the Ben and Woods program on YouTube.
I believe they're listening on the radio.
Are they listening on the radio?
Yes.
It's on the audio at the Torrey Pines Golf Shop.
Yes.
Wow. Good morning, Torrey Pines.
Good morning,
everybody
Torrey
getting ready
Pines.
to tee off on a
Hit 'em
Friday
straight.
morning.
Yeah.
Love that.
Look at you guys, man.
Love that.
This is very clear plugola right
You guys
now.
are brown nosers.
We are brown nosing. I mean,
It's a city. I mean, we're supporting the city of San Diego.
Yeah.
And it's amazing golf property on the cliffs of La Jolla.
yeah, beautiful. Tough to get on.
It is tough to get on.
It's
at
very
Torrey Pines.
difficult to get on.
Sometimes it's like you got to know
Don't do
somebody.
Yeah,
Yes.
Paulie, sometimes, they say in life, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Who.
Now, where I live and where you live and where you live, it's unfortunate. We can't get a city car,
I used
right?
to have one back in the day. It was amazing.
You have to stop. You guys
It's tough
have
for
to
us.
stop.
It's tough.
Just haven't been able to get onto my beloved Torrey Pines or Coronado.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
Balboa.
look, when my dad comes in town, he always asks me, hey, any chance we play Torrey Pines? I say, I mean, we can, but you got to, I tell him how much it costs. He goes, oh, never mind. We can just play Encinitas Ranch again. And I said, okay, sorry, Dad. I'm sorry to let you down. I know how much you love golf.
Yeah, Encinitas Ranch is such a dump.
No, it's great.
Oh, it's great.
It's great. That said,
It didn't host a U.S. Open.
it didn't
though.
host a U.S. Open.
Two of them,
Two of
actually.
them, and the Genesis recently.
Every single year, the
I mean,
Farmers Insurance Open.
It's just a great place. It's a
By
great place.
Torrey Pines.
Simply the best. Simply the best.
Y'all done?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Okay.
Hello, golfers.
Hello, guys.
Hello,
Hi,
golfers.
guys in the pro shop.
Yeah.
We love you so much.
We do.
We love you so much.
We appreciate you
Let me-
listening this morning.
Let me ask you a question, and they need to turn the radio down for this one. I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So if you're listening in Torrey Pines, don't listen right now. Has there ever been any thought for you, Benjamin, who's lived in North County your entire life, just finding a way to get, to game the system a little bit? Maybe have a.
Can't do it.
Is it impossible?
I have, on occasion, wished I was a more unethical person
Okay.
who might try to go around the system, but
Right.
I do not live within the city limits of San Diego, and thus am not authorized.
Now, have you ever thought about making?
I've
your-
heard strategies like get your water bill somewhere
Sent
else,
to
or,
somewhere
do
else.
something-
I've heard that they have really cracked.
I
it
have
down on
to.
that.
They're pretty serious about making sure you're.
Maybe
It's
it
really
used to
for
be a little
city
bit
people.
easier, but yeah.
Somebody asked, who's that lady's voice on air?
AI.
That's my lady, Hannah Nancarowitz, my wife. She's in here chilling with us
It's just
today.
AI.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So you have thought about it.
I have
but
thought about it. Well, I thought about wishing that I was a worse person who would do something like that, but I never would.
Paulie, can you imagine him if he did it? The first time he walked in,
I'd
how
be
much
so
he'd be
nervous and
shaking?
I racked with guilt.
Because you never even had a fake ID, right?
No, never once.
once. You waited until you were 21 years old before you set foot in an establishment.
Correct.
It was nerve wracking when you had the fake and you walk
Oh,
up. you're like,
I
I'm
got
dead.
so many taken.
I'm
from
dead.
me.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead.
At
You know what?
Petco Park,
That goes
At
on your
Petco Park.
That
Yeah.
goes on your permanent record.
Yeah,
if they,
permanent
if
record.
They catch you with a fake ID.
Actually,
Really?
it doesn't. They just kick you out.
I don't want to
No,
have
it
a
is on my
permanent
record.
I
I
don't-
had to have it expunged.
Oh my God.
I
My wife
know.
got thrown in Petco Park jail.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
We've done a lot of time in our house.
Do they actually have like the judge that does? I know some I think like Yankee Stadium, or they actually have a judge. who will
Aaron
make-
Judge comes in after the game and just clank, you're free to go. It's a $250 fine.
Give him a gavel.
Yeah, bam. He said, guys, I just finished the game. I
Time
have to do this.
served.
$250
Like an
fine.
episode of Night Court.
Yeah, right.
As of 2009, they did not have a judge.
Oh. Even I never got thrown in Petco Park jail.
I was
really-
bringing my fake ID out. And
I believe.
All right. Well, that's what I want to open the phone lines for. I want to hear from anybody who's been thrown in Petco Park jail.
Yeah.
What did you do They got you thrown in Petco Park jail for the rest of the game.
Like, if you're going to get thrown in a jail, get thrown in a ballpark jail. That's my advice to you. They're going to let you go
at the
game
on television at least so you can keep watching it? No, they don't even let you keep watching the game while you're there.
No, there are real cells. They didn't close my cell door when I was in there, and they let me have my cell phone so I could text my dad.
Your friends.
A literal cell phone.
Yes, a cell phone. They just call it a phone.
And then they walked us to the trolley station at the end of the game.
Oh, man.
Escorted out.
Yes.
Yeah, but the punishment is not being able to watch the games. There is no, well, at least in 2009, there was no TV in the cell.
Yeah, you weren't missing much in 2009, really, right?
No Cardiff cracked nachos.
No.
There.
Yeah, that was well before that.
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
And the Bud Light line was not worth it.
That's true.
All right, let's talk a little baseball from other cities yesterday on opening day. How did the rest of the NL West fare? We will get to that after a quick check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by MTS. Take the trolley to the game, running every 15 minutes or better. Then an overturned crash the coastline south on 5 before Del Mar Heights Road's got the slow lane blocked, and a stalled vehicle partially in lanes in westbound 8 just before the 163. Don't let traffic drag your day down, whether headed to the office or game day. Go the easy way with MTS. Trolleys run every 15 minutes or better throughout the day. Learn more and plan your trolley trip at sdmts.com. That's sdmts.com. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Katie in the chat says her dad was ejected from a game by the home plate umpire. I'm assuming he was a fan, not like a ball player or a coach in the game, that the umpire just said, get that fan out of here. You're out.
It's more significant that you were the fan that got thrown out. Players get thrown out all the time.
Right. Yeah.
If you're a fan and you're like, I got tossed from an MLB game.
You got to be pretty outrageous.
You must have been giving it to him.
Now, I saw this yesterday. Philip brings it up. There was definitely some security. The guy who threw back the Ozzy Albies home run.
Yeah.
And you're not so. I know the rule is very clear. Don't throw anything on the field. You'll get ejected from the ballpark. I do feel there should be an exception for the immediate returning of an opposing player's home run.
Yeah,
right?
as long as you don't throw it at the guys on the field, man.
Yeah,
I'm fine
throw it
with
away
that.
from players, and I think you should be okay. But security went up there, and the fans started reacting like trying to keep them from. And I don't know what the ultimate ruling was in that case, but
he got back
they
in.
threw it back there.
He got back in. People in the chat are saying.
Okay, that's good to know that he didn't lose his tickets for the season or anything.
Gus says he pegged. Whoa. He pegged the lady he was with.
That doesn't seem right.
That'll get you kicked out of a ballpark.
Like just a bad throw.
Steven.
Sorry, it's Friday.
Oh, did anyone, speaking of right field, did anyone notice the sign down the right field corner on the Jack in the Box foul pole?
No.
Right at the base. It's a big sign that says "slap some cheese" on it.
Oh,
they've leaned into Mud's famous saying when they talk about Jack in the Box on the TV broadcast. Now officially there on the wall at Petco Park. It says "slap some cheese" on it.
He should get
royalties.
He should get royalties for that, man. 100%. I wonder if they hook him up.
I need to get back to a game because I really didn't get a chance to walk around and really see any of the new stuff, try any new foods. But like, I wanted to go up to see the new Western Metal Supply building and the roof up there.
Yeah,
it was just so chaotic.
So
I was like,
the day before we went down to the team store, and
that looks amazing.
I have to commend my wife only spending like $150 only on the kids.
At 200
only on the children, not on ourselves or on new jackets for her. But it was really well done. It looks amazing.
It does. It looks
so good.
I like the giant hat.
Yes, the giant hat that spins. It's cool.
Yeah.
You got Polly, you'll love it.
Yeah, it looks like they like doubled in size.
It looks really good. They moved our beloved Bobby Cressy, Padres organist. He's no longer up in Western Metal Supply. He's on the 200. He's right next to the press box. So I told him
right below.
I could come.
He said he was at least they were experimenting with the new location. They may move him around, but I did see he was in a totally different spot.
I told him I could actually moon him from the press box. I could.
This is the bad behavior I'm talking about.
That's true. That'll get me run out of the press box for sure. Scott said I was the first person ever thrown in Petco Park jail. At the second game, when the park opened in 2004, the cops told me I should frame my citation. Scott, if you're listening, Call in 833.
He tried a second ago and then he dropped off.
Call
So I told him
833-288-0973.
I told him call back. I want to know. I want to know what he did to get thrown in Petco Park jail, the second game in the history of the ballpark.
Now, we did not hit a home run yesterday, correct?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. Gavin Sheets hit one. All right, that's a free jumbo jack.
Yeah, slap some cheese on
Slap some cheese on it. Let's go.
Leaps up, and it's going to go! A home run! A home run!
Pretty big home run, actually. Pretty big home run.
Yeah, we got one. They hit a couple, and we hit one.
Guess who else hit a home run yesterday?
Shohei. I was watching it.
Yeah, opposite
I've
field.
never seen
Opposite field.
But how did Decoy react?
It was so bad.
Dodgers beat the Tigers 5-4.
Ohtani cranks one out.
Improving to 3-0.
We'll also get you thrown out of the game.
So, they're off to a fairly decent start so far.
Yeah,
that was the closest game yet. They only won by a run. They got out hit, but they did face maybe the nastiest starting pitcher in the game in Tarek Skubal, and they still ended up winning. So kind of tells you where the Dodgers are at early in the season. Now, the Diamondbacks are the team I think we're going to be following the most closely all season long in terms of competing with the Diamondbacks for a wild card spot. They started with a 10-6 loss to the Chicago Cubs yesterday in a high-scoring game. The Cubs scored early against Zach Gallen, 4 runs in 4 innings, jumped out to a lead. Diamondbacks came back, but then 3 more runs in the 5th, and the Cubs went on to the 10-6 win. Did you watch some of that game? You said late at night?
I did. It was really weird to watch Zach Gallen really scuffle. There was one inning, Ben, I think he threw like 22 straight balls or something. He actually got gifted a strike by the umpire. And I won't say he was all over the place, but it was like nibbling, and he just missed. Walked the first 2 guys, was not looking very sharp at all. But I was watching that team, man, and they're scary, man. Ketel Marte is a superstar. He's leading off. Corbin Carroll followed up and got a knock. They've got Eugenio Suarez, who's a good player. He hit a home run. Yeah. He hit a tank yesterday. I mean, they're going to be a really, really difficult team. I was happy to see them lose yesterday, though. I need that to continue happening.
Let's see. Elsewhere in the NL West yesterday, the San Francisco Giants rallied for a 9th inning win to beat the Cincinnati Reds in Tito Francona's debut as Reds manager. He had a tough day. Apparently, he needed like emergency dental work on opening day, then watched his team. Hunter Green looked really solid on the mound, but they could not hold the lead late. A 4-run top of the 9th inning as the Giants got a Wilmer Flores 3-run home run to beat the Cincinnati Reds on opening day 6-4.
A lot of parlays were absolutely torched. Mine being one of them, betting against the Chicago White Sox and the Miami Marlins feels like an easy 2 wins in a parlay. They both won yesterday. Will Venable got a beer shower, a water shower after he's 1-0 as Chicago White Sox manager. Benny, they are on the road to 51, right? I think that was the number you said yesterday. 51
and a half.
51 and a half.
Yeah.
So they got only 50 more.
53 and a half.
I thought it was actually 51.
You might be able to get a low number if you want, but
so they started 1-0, just torched my parlays because I just figured that's easy money right there. Those guys aren't going to win very much. And they both went out and won yesterday.
And then does anybody know how the Colorado Rockies did?
No.
There's a reason for that.
They
didn't play.
They didn't play.
I mean, baseball cares so little about the Rockies. They didn't even schedule them for opening day.
Who else didn't play?
They're playing at the Tampa Bay Rays today because that's a 3-game series because it's interleague. They did not schedule them for Thursday. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series. So
I knew I was missing something.
They will debut today.
Oh, wow.
At
the only team that didn't play?
Steinbrenner Field. Well, the Rays didn't play either.
Rays and Rockies.
Well, yeah.
I think those were the only teams that didn't play, which is weird yesterday. Yeah, pretty sure that was it. So they will make their debut, I believe, at Steinbrenner Field, where the Rays will be filling in this season with Tropicana Field all decimated due to the hurricane.
And also, I've sent my heart out up the 5 to Anaheim many times. I do have some friends that are Angels fans. It's the first game of the season. You guys are getting your ass kicked so bad you have to throw in a position player, and you lose to the Chicago White Sox. I mean, that's about as bad as it gets. I guess the no phone policy didn't get them locked in for the Chicago White Sox. You just got bodied. You had to use a position player in game 1.
It's it's not a dumb strategy. Why burn pitching when pitching is
I know. No,
is valuable early in the season.
You look up and you're down
but-
8-0 to the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, it's
You're
not
like,
good.
all
It's
right,
not good.
Things have gone terribly wrong.
You've got a problem.
You got a problem. Mike Trout.
You got a problem.
Mike Trout got hit on the hand his very first AB. He did stay in the game, but oh man, it always feels like a matter of time with those guys.
Juan Soto singled in his first at bat with the New York Mets.
Yep.
Also walked twice. The OBP is good, but when he had a chance in the ninth inning with the game on the line against Josh Hader, struck out, and the Astros beat the Mets 3-1 on opening day for the new look New York Mets. The Phillies, Mackenzie Gore, former Padre, absolutely dominated. One of the best opening day starts in history. 6 innings, 13 strikeouts, 1 hit. And yet the Nationals didn't win that game. The Phillies rallied with home runs from Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and went on to beat the Washington Nationals 7-3. So ultimately they waste a huge performance by Mackenzie Gore in game 1.
Benny, on what planet does a team strike out 19 times in a game and win that game?
Phillies baseball, baby.
I mean, holy smokes. They asked Bryce Harper about it after the game. He goes, yeah, man, that can't happen. We cannot strike out 19 times in a game. He said, but, we found a way to get it done. That's a rarity. You K 19 times, man. I guess you really made do of your other 8 outs in the game, right? You made use of those times, and yeah, they had some clutch hits late, won it late against the Nationals, but man, McKenzie was really, really solid.
My pick to win the World Series, Baltimore Orioles got off to a good start. I think they hit 6 home runs in a 12-2 win over the Blue Jays, and Tyler O'Neill has one of the strangest streaks in baseball going. He hit a home run for the 6th consecutive opening day.
Guy loves opening day.
That's a major league record.
Broke his own record.
Yeah, well, it was 5 last year.
Yeah.
Now it's 6. You can count on him. Always goes deep on opening day. Now, he doesn't continue that throughout the rest of the season. He's fine. But a good start for the Baltimore Orioles with that win. Nice day for the Cardinals. They actually had, like we did a couple of years ago, they got rain, so they had to wait for their opening day. Finally got it in and beat the Minnesota Twins 5-3. Nolan Arenado coming off that down year. They couldn't trade him. He's still there in St. Louis. Very awkward, but starts his season with a home run and a nice moment. I could not believe this. I saw Katie Wu, our friend, saying this is her 5th year now in the Cardinals beat. I go, where does the time go? I guess we're in 7 years now.
Yep.
Katie spent 5 years covering the Cardinals, so they started with a win. And this was a sweet story. The Boston Red Sox beat the Texas Rangers 5-2 on the power of 2 Wilyer Abreu home runs. Yep. He and his wife, they just had twins, so he dedicated his 2 home runs to his 2 newborn twins on opening day of their very first days of life, which I thought was very, very cool.
That's really, really
you can't just
special.
hit 1 home run for
hit
2 babies. You got to hit 2. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you go up to him with the ball after, you're like, all right, this is one for
One,
both of you guys.
share
it. No, one for you.
Get used to it, kids.
Yeah, get used to it.
I don't have a lot of 2 home run games, but he did.
We were at the team store, and Hannah had 2 separate hats for the boys. I go, are you out of your mind? I go, one's gonna want the other. Just get them both the same one. You can never go wrong. You always have to buy them the same. And ours aren't even twins. You have to do it as a parent. You have to. If you get a green one, he wants a green one. Can't go green and red. You got to go the same. Pick one, right?
Yeah.
Or they will fight.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was Blake Snell had his debut yesterday for the Dodgers. It was pretty Snellian. He was 92 pitches to get 15 outs, struck out 2, allowed 2 runs in 5 innings. He had 4 walks. I watched him pitch. It was the same. I mean, it's crazy. The ball that's 6 inches outside, he gives the old Blake Snell hop, the old hop bag, the old but it was.
I think what's going to be frustrating though is that those Snellian performances for a lot of teams, it's not enough. He goes 5 innings,
right?
They're fine. Gets knocked out, and then the other team comes against the bullpen and wins. For the Dodgers, those are going to be winning performances most of the time. They've got an unbelievable bullpen. Yep. He's good enough.
They got touched up a little bit, but
if he goes 5, he's probably going to win a lot of those games, and that's going to work out for the Dodgers. So that's a quick look at what else transpired on opening day.
Oh, did Higgy hit a bomb yesterday? Did I see that?
Did he hit a bomb?
Did he hit a home run?
All right. We will look ahead to our weekend coming up next when we return for hour number 3 of Ben Woods on the Fan.
Well, we're halfway home on a victory Friday here on Ben and Woods. Everybody's in such a better mood. The spirits are much higher. Just so fun to have baseball back, San Diego Padres baseball back. I really love this brand of baseball that they are cultivating here in our fair city. It's been a lot of fun. Yesterday was a blast, man. From the opening broadcast when we started at 6 a.m. till I went to bed last night, just being enveloped in baseball all day is really how I prefer to spend my my afternoons. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer of the program. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well, and also joined by my beloved wife, Hannah, who is in here. Somebody asked in the chat, did you get so drunk last night that your wife had to drive you to work? I said, no, I didn't even get that drunk. I had a few drinks.
Yeah.
No, I mean, who passed out in the middle of the afternoon and slept for like 7 hours straight? It wasn't me. I stayed up watching baseball. Eating burgers. Delicious.
What do you have on tap now this weekend after your big week and you didn't have the kids and now assume you're going to go home and, be very quiet and not do anything fun this weekend?
Well, so the babies will be back here
Go pick them up.
a couple hours. We got to pick them up after this. It'd be so great to see them. We'll have them tonight. We will then ditch them again for tomorrow night. We are driving to Los Angeles to go to a concert that I'm really excited about. I know my wife is very excited about as well. Remember the movie Garden State?
Yeah, Garden State.
Garden State. Zach Braff. Paulie, did you ever watch Garden State? Yeah. Okay. So that movie came out. It was a sensation. Everybody loved it, and it happens to be Hannah's favorite movie of all time. We agree on about 4 things culturally: bands and movies. That's one of them. I also enjoyed it very much, and I loved the soundtrack. The soundtrack is phenomenal, and it was a world beater. I mean, it was just so great. So a few months back, I'm looking at Rolling Stone or something. They said, "Oh, Zach Braff's going to do a benefit, and he's going to do a Garden State benefit, and he's going to have all the bands that were on there come play the songs from the soundtrack." And I knew Hannah loved it, so I told her, and she diligently worked her tail off for months to try to find tickets, and we finally did. So we're driving up to LA tomorrow after the broadcast. We have a broadcast tomorrow. Ben will give you the liner on that in a minute. And as soon as we're done, we're heading up to Los Angeles. We're going to go to that show. It's at the Greek Theater, which is always a fun time.
The Greek.
Love the Greek.
It's nice.
And so we'll go and see the Shins and 07 and Remy Zero and all these bands that we love. And I can't wait. Going to be so much fun. And then we will get up super early. We'll drive back from LA. Then I will load up the car and drive out to Valley Center for a baseball game at 1 p.m. With Paulie in the Tier 1. So it's going to be a really busy weekend. No rest for the wicked.
Apparently not.
No.
You're going to get some Padres baseball viewing in a little bit.
Believe
between,
it.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the Tier 1 games, we have the game on in the dugout at all times, pretty much. I'm not Ron Washington. I allow my guys to actually, because we're watching baseball and talking about baseball. But yeah, I don't know how I'm going to watch the game at the concert, but I'll probably have it on my phone.
If I know you, you will find a way.
Yeah, I'll find a way.
What time's the concert?
I don't know, like
games at 5:40.
Games at 5:40. All right, yeah, we'll see. We'll see a good piece of it then.
Since you mentioned it, we will be out again tomorrow in the East Village area by the ballpark for a special day of shows with 97.3 The Fan on Saturday. The East Village Block Party will be broadcasting live at Tom's Watch Bar on 8th and J, just outside Gallagher Square, starting at 10 a.m. It'll be us and then Braden and the Gwen and Chris show all the way until 3:15, and Sammy's pregame show tomorrow. You can check out all the baseball action while enjoying Blue Moon and Coors Light, along with delicious food like Tom's famous prime rib dip sandwich. That's tomorrow at Tom's Watch Bar, 8th and J Street. Brought to you by Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. We got AJ Preller joining us on a Friday coming up at the bottom of the hour as he enjoys at least day one of his 162-game season for the San Diego Padres.
Morning, guys.
One thing, and I've got a few things I want to talk to AJ about. One thing we didn't bring up, and I didn't think I was actually happy, and I don't know if your feeds were different than mine. Fernando Tatis Jr. hit a ball 112 miles an hour, 20-degree launch angle that did not get over the fairly short wall in left field.
Couldn't believe it.
And ended up with a single as he was not running hard out of the box on that play.
I don't know that it would have been a double anyway.
Bro, okay, so hit that hard.
Okay, so here's my hot take on that. had he been hustling out of the box, he would have definitely tried to stretch it into a double because, well, he hit it over the guy's head. Likely, I think he would have been out. He hit that so hard. Yeah. I don't know that anyone could have gotten to second base. So in that case, a little Cadillacing out of the box may have saved him from an embarrassing out at second base.
I mean, I thought that ball, as soon as he hit it, I was like, oh, yeah, there that goes.
He still ended up at third with one out after stealing, third base. So it wasn't, they didn't get him in, I don't think, in that situation. But
I'm not going to overreact to stuff like that.
No,
right
not all season.
No, I mean, it's not with him.
He did
keep doing what you're doing, King.
Quick correction. Tomorrow's game is 4:15, I think.
Oh, good.
It's on Fox. It's a national game, so it's not the standard Petco Park 540
correct
all right,
Saturday
now,
special. So no misinformation on this radio show.
So question. Can I watch the game in LA?
Yeah, on Fox.
What if the hotel doesn't have Fox? They probably will.
They almost
every hotel
certainly.
will have
I've never
Fox,
been,
NBC.
I think, in a hotel in my life that didn't have
the local
affiliate.
All right.
Yeah.
So you will be able to watch that game.
Okay, who's calling it?
That's a good question.
Old puker boy.
That I don't know.
I do not know. I mean, West Coast Fox is certainly a possibility that it's that guy, but I don't know for sure who they're sending down.
Cranks one out.
He's standing on a phone book.
Because his team plays too, so I don't know if they want to take him away on opening weekend or how they do that. But yeah, you should be able to watch that game fairly easily wherever you are.
Okay.
On the national telecast.
All right, well, I'll be ready.
So
awful announcing, fun inside sports media website. They used to put out weekly announcing schedules for all sports. Their most recent one was the Super Bowl Sunday broadcast primer and announcing schedule. So I think they've gone in a different direction with their announcing schedules.
They did have a nice little piece on Don Orsillo yesterday.
They did. I saw that. That was great.
Just Donnie getting all kinds of love, as he deserves.
As he should.
I was listening as he walked, and I think I walked around the ballpark like 7 times yesterday from various parking areas and to different live shots and remotes that I had to get to. And they're always playing the highlights as you're walking around. Usually Don's call, occasionally some Jesse calls. And something that Don does really well, and you just heard it there again, he has an ability to really scream at you without sounding like he's screaming. He keeps his voice.
It's like from the diaphragm.
But it's a scream.
Yeah.
It's a yell. It's a scream. But he doesn't lose the integrity of the call while he's doing it. It's actually really hard to do.
Unbelievable!
He pulls it off really, really well.
There's something going on in the chat right now. My wife saw one of our Tier 1's penis yesterday at the event.
Whoa.
Real non sequitur from what we were talking about. Just jumping to a different topic entirely.
Whoa.
You just ambushed everybody in the audience, and we got a large audience.
I mean,
you ambushed them with that.
I'm just going to use the clinical term for it.
I accidentally walked in on Benji yesterday going to that.
Not me.
No.
You accidentally.
I did, and then I had just had a shot, so I kind of lingered also for a second to apologize. And he didn't seem as surprised as someone who unintentionally left it unlocked.
Yeah, so they're going back and forth in chat. Sorry about that, Hannah. I thought the door was locked. No, it was not, actually. And
you're trying to like, wait, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. What is that? What are you doing? How scale of 1 to 10?
He seemed great.
Oh, all right. So that's an interesting.
Sorry, Benji, but I don't think you are.
Well, it's not your fault. You did nothing wrong at all. It's the onus is on the person in the bathroom to make sure the door is locked.
It's not called an onus.
It's a penis. I just said it.
It's an onus. The onus is always on the person inside the bathroom. It is absolutely fair game. You don't have to knock every time. You reach.
And it wasn't fair.
When you reach for the door handle and it opens, you, I think, should feel comfortable that the bathroom is empty and you are authorized to enter it. If you always had to check every time, like, wait, knock, is anyone there? Can they hear me? knock a little louder. Hey, I just want to make sure no one's in there. You can't do that every time you go to a restaurant.
Well,
It
no,
either
it
is
had
locked
one
or
of
it's
those
not
things
locked.
that says vacant or occupied,
Right.
right? It turns red,
Red
or
or
green.
green, yeah.
He says he had tried and he gave up. Like that's not something you really give up on.
He's in the chat. He goes, my bad.
Benji, if you're still with us, 833-288-0973.
Yeah.
Go ahead and call in.
Pork
We have
sword
some
yesterday.
questions.
I mean, I think everyone's had the situation where they've tried to latch it, whether it's a porta potty or a bathroom, and
It doesn't
you
work.
have trouble latching it,
it's
and then you're in
terrifying.
the dilemma, like, okay, now what
So,
do I do?
I'll show you
Because-
what you do. Now, the toilets there are kind of far away from the door, but you can do something like this.
where you hold
you
the
wedge
door
one foot against the door, and then
It
you
was too far.
Yeah,
It was too
too
far.
far away to
It
do
was
that.
too far.
You
I
can
like that
also-
he knew and just gave up.
You can
Yeah,
also
just
go
forget
try
it.
to find something heavy, like
To lean
put
against it.
the door.
wedge a garbage can or something.
Yeah, or any sort of paperweight or something that can go up against the door that at least indicate, okay, there's some
Jeez.
resistance on the door. It's not locked, but I'm getting some resistance here. That's a red flag at that point, and then you reevaluate your bathroom entering strategies.
Honestly, it felt like he was waiting for someone.
Remember the time we went to dinner with our couple friend, Jenny and Travis, and we went to, it was a
Oh.
Rare Society, and I went back to use the restroom, and I opened the door that was unlocked, and a woman was sitting
That
on
poor
the
gal.
toilet, and her
She was
her
wearing
top
a
was down.
she
it
was
was
wearing a
full
onesie.
And the whole top
like a
was down.
jumper.
She was nude.
Yeah.
Her
Romper.
breasts
Had to go
were
all the
A
way
hanging-
down.
romper, yeah.
They were hanging out, and I go, "Oh my god!" And she goes,
Totally
"Oh my god!"
naked.
I go, "I'm so sorry." And I
She
slammed
thought
the
you were
door.
creepy, but
No.
she was in the men's room.
It was like a
Unisex.
It was the
It was
yeah,
unisex. Yeah.
bisexual.
What?
No, I think it's
Oh,
unisex.
unisex.
That's
different.
That's not
totally
the word.
different. It's totally
That's not
different.
what she
That's
said.
something different.
Whatever. I mean, two okay.
But
whatever.
yeah, I mean, I was like, well, here's the thing: if you have to take all of your clothes off to go to the bathroom, maybe you wear a different outfit.
No,
Well, I mean-
that's part of being a woman. I'm telling you.
But what happens if you're like a maintenance worker and you have one of those
A
jumpsuits
jumpsuit?
on? You have to
You
pull
wear
it all the
clothes
way.
underneath. If
You
I
have to
had
pull
guess.
it all the
you
way
wear clothes
down.
underneath.
Well, you still have to pull it all
You
the way
don't
down.
you don't free ball of jumpsuits.
It could be hot. I mean, you don't want to have too many layers on. If it's like a
Underwear
summer
and a
day.
t-shirt.
All right. Well, you still have to take that top part all the way down.
I mean, it wasn't the worst night of my life. I'll tell you that right now. It wasn't the worst thing I could have seen walking into the bathroom. No offense, babe. It was,
No, and Benji, you were fine too.
Was he?
He's fine.
I don't like
How did he
sounds.
represent himself?
He
Pretty good.
I just can't get over how unsurprised he was.
hot beef.
So good. So
Jay of the Jail wants to know, how does the fryer use the bathroom?
I have no
Fryer came by
earthly idea.
came
Yeah.
by the our remote yesterday at Maha Rick's
He
with
was
the
a
cake.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
And then and I don't know, I'm not supposed to say it, so I won't say his name. But
His name's Fryer.
I work with the fryer at Channel 10 as well, at least one of the fryers.
Really?
I
Are there
mean,
multiple?
I don't want to
Yeah.
I think there are more than one person.
This whole time I thought we had a thing.
Who
Every
gets-
time I saw him, I thought,
Oh,
oh,
we know
we
each
know
other.
each other.
Well, you just don't know because they don't speak when they're inside.
Wow. this
There's a
whole
rule
time.
in radio every December. You don't talk about something that kids believe in
Correct.
around the holiday season.
Correct.
I think this is kind of the same
Is that-
thing.
do you have to-
don't
Oh.
talk about baseball mascots like
That
Yeah.
they're not like real
he's
people.
the Fryer,
He's
Oh.
the fryer.
you monster.
Benji,
Oh.
Don't kids understand though that they're
Kids are crying right now.
that they're okay,
learning
fine,
that
fine. It's
there's
just the fryer.
multiple
There's just one
fryers.
fryer.
One fryer.
He was born from Mr. and Mrs.
He
Fryer.
looks that way.
That's
He's
just
real.
how he came into the world.
He
with
came
the-
into the world. Yes.
like that.
he did.
It's just what he looks like, and he goes home every night, and lives out in Tierra Santa. Has
Yeah.
a
Nice spread.
nice little spots. And gets a good salary from the Padres. It's part of the job. Just he's kind of born into it.
Yeah.
Actually,
Literally, he had
It's a
no
family
other
legacy,
choice.
yeah.
Right. Once
it's hard.
you're-
I mean, what
it's hard.
other
What else are you gonna
what
be?
other line of work can you get into when you're a swinging fryer?
Yeah.
So I mean, you can go to a monastery, I guess. Monks would have to take you at some point.
That's
but-
true.
But otherwise, with the giant oversized head and the big oversized body, you're really limited to the field of mascotting.
What
and
is this?
and really just the one team is appropriate because like if the Florida Marlins needed a mascot. You applied, and they go, you don't look like a Marlin. You don't really fit our needs. I mean, we appreciate your resume looks good.
Have you tried the Padres? Yeah, I did. It's not working.
But it's not really what we're looking for. I'm sorry.
I think a mascot swap would be pretty funny, actually. Just switch them up, see if people notice. Oh, man. All right. Well, that was a hole that we dug there on Ben and Woods.
We need a contestant for Take on Woods.
Yeah, we do.
Coming up in our next segment. Before we do anything else, let's open the phone lines. 833-288-0973. Chance to qualify. I think last time this month for our trip to Las Vegas, the Alanis Morissette tickets, the $100 gas card, our musical trivia contest. UV Woods coming up next. 833-288-0973.
Got to get my picks in for Underdog today. Very excited. Baseball's back. Take a swing at making picks on all your favorite players with Underdog. You know how daily fantasy works. Just choose higher or lower on your favorite player stats, strikeouts, home runs, hits, and more. Or you can, the fun thing is, you can not like a guy and think he's not going to get any hits, and you can just take lower. That's also very fun to do as well. You can play with as little as $1. If you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. So download the Underdog app today. Sign up using the promo code WOODS to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code WOODS. Claim your special offer today. Get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon first deposit. You must be 18 and over, 19 and over in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and over in Colorado for some games, 21 and over in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEPS to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
Padres president of baseball operations, general manager AJ Preller is joining us in about 10 minutes. Talk to AJ. Some final roster decisions that were made and other things going on with the San Diego Padres, including yesterday's 7-4 win. So with that in mind, I think we better get right to our game. It is time, the Friday edition of Take on Woods. Take on Woods brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. So many people calling in today, so I just go randomly. Caller, is this Todd?
Yeah.
Todd, you
Hello?
calling in for Take on Woods?
Yep.
All right, let's do
What's
this.
up, Todd?
You are up. It'll be UV Woods. 5 questions of musical trivia. If you beat or tie him, you will qualify for our monthly grand prize drawing here at the end of March. It is 2 tickets to Alanis Morissette at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace, a 2-night stay at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, and a $100 gas card. See Ticketmaster.com for tickets. All right, your advantage is getting to know and pick the category. Here are your 3 choices today. Call Me Al. 5 song titles that begin with the letters A-L. Basketball Goose. Tier 1 Goose inspired this one and sent in the questions, all inspired by March Madness and basketball. And our new category, The Best of Us. 5 song titles that include the word us. So Call Me Al, Basketball Goose, or The Best of Us. Todd, what would you like to play?
Let's try Call Me Al.
Call Me Al. All right, 5 song titles, all again begin with the letters A-L. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. If you don't know an answer, you can pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question is always the 2-second song. Paulie will play you a short snippet of a song that begins with the letters A-L. You will give me the song title and the artist to score that point, and then we'll go on from there. Todd, are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. 60 seconds on the clock. The category is, again, Call Me Al. Todd, your time begins when Paul plays our music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Heart Alone.
Correct. The Eagles will sing this victory song in which 1974 hit from their album On the Border.
Pass.
Guitarist Stone Gossard wrote which 1991 smash hit debut single for Pearl Jam?
Pass.
Elvis Presley, Willie Nelson, and the Pet Shop Boys all released successful covers of which song that begins with the line, Maybe I Didn't Love You?
Oh, man. I knew this one. Okay, pass.
In a 2005 song, Brad Paisley sings in the first person about what? Hailing from Milwaukee, Lynchburg, and Bordeaux, France.
Okay, let's go back to the second question.
All right, the Eagles will sing this victory song in which 1974 hit from their album On the Border.
Oh, man. Next.
Guitarist Stone Gossard wrote which 19... Oh, wow, you got so... I got that first one so quickly, and I thought this could be a...
I was feeling good about
could
that
be a
first
big
one.
score, but it
Yeah.
was just the one, Alone by Heart. The Eagles, Already Gone. Hannah knew that one. Pearl Jam, Alive, correct. Willie Nelson, Elvis Presley, Pet Shop Boys. Maybe I Didn't Love You. Always on My Mind. And then Brad Paisley sings about alcohol. All the AL songs. Let's see how Woods does. He doesn't get the category. See if he can figure out what they all have in common. Todd's score is locked in. I think you've had a pretty good week here. Let's see if you can finish it out. I think there was one tie. All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Todd.
It's Heart. I'll come back to it.
The Eagles will sing this victory song in which 1974 hit from their album On the Border.
Already Gone.
Correct. Guitarist Stone Gossard wrote which 1991 smash hit debut single for Pearl Jam.
He wrote it?
Yeah.
I'll come back to it.
Elvis Presley, Willie Nelson, and the Pet Shop Boys all released successful cover versions.
Always on My Mind.
Correct. In a 2005 song, Brad Paisley sings in the first person about what? Hailing from Milwaukee, Lynchburg, and Bordeaux, France.
I have no idea.
All right, go back to our 2-second song.
Is it Heart Alone?
Correct. Guitarist Stone Gossard wrote which 1991 smash hit debut single for Pearl Jam.
Alive?
Correct.
Wow.
In a 2005
Not true,
song,
but-
Brad Paisley sings in the first person about what? Hailing from Milwaukee, Lynchburg, and Bordeaux, France.
Alone and With My Taint.
No, it's alcohol. All the songs beginning with the letters AL. I mean, I did my,
tough.
I did my research. That's what it said in the research of the song a lot.
He may have written the music to it. Actually, Eddie wrote the words.
Words,
Yeah.
music. All right.
Yeah.
But you got
That's
four.
what
And you
threw
got
me
the
off.
You got the win 4-1 in the category. Call Me Al. Alone, Already Gone, Alive, Always on My Mind, and Alcohol.
Is that the worst Paul Simon song? You Can Call Me Al.
That was not one of the questions, but yeah.
If you be my bodyguard, I can be your long
You
lost.
can call me
Betty.
Eddie, Betty.
I thought it was Betty.
Betty and
Chevy Chase in the video. Remember that? I would throw stuff at the TV. I hated it so much. I hated it. Oh, terrible.
Didn't put that in there though.
That would have been too obvious.
All right. Let's take the time out. When we come back, we will be joined on a Friar Friday.
Do you know what you're going to ask him yet, babe?
I'm not going to ask him anything.
By the president of baseball operations. So the Padres, AJ Preller, coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Phone.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Happy Friar Friday, everybody. First Friar Friday of the season. It comes after yesterday's 7-4 opening day win over the Atlanta Braves. And joining us, feel honored on this first Friar Friday, the president of baseball operations for the San Diego Padres, general manager AJ Preller is with us. AJ, congratulations on yesterday's win.
Oh, appreciate it, guys. Good way to start the year. So thanks for having me.
Get like I don't know, like 103 more of those would probably set a lot of minds at ease. Nobody's mind more than yours, I'm sure, AJ. It was a pretty epic day at the ballpark. It always is, but we were talking earlier in the show about the brand of baseball that the San Diego Padres play now. It's a different one, and I know that you're involved in that, and Victor Rodriguez and Mike Schilt. Talk a little bit, if you could, about that the kind of brand of baseball you're seeing from your players year in and year out now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that we've pushed here for a while now. In terms of we've been a team that's been for again, it's just good baseball. When you're smart and aggressive, and you have a chance to score runs a lot of different ways. And I think really over the last 5 years we have a super athletic team, and we can do different things. And what we've seen in the last 2 years with Shilty and the group is the value they place on just being able to advance 90 feet, score different ways, the base running aspect of it. I mean, just things that, again, from the time you're a kid, that leads to winning and putting up offensive runs. There's a lot of attention to detail for it. Our group does a great job with it, and we saw it yesterday how it resulted in, I think Tadia said, a small ball leading to big ball at times. And yesterday, kind of all phases, it was working for us, and was able to beat a great pitcher in Chris Sale and a good team in Atlanta because of it.
AJ, I wanted to kind of ask you about something similar, and that is, not every team obviously plays with that style. There are other winning styles. The Yankees don't play anything like the Padres, and they got to the World Series last year. When you're putting together the team, though, does it matter? I mean, it's a really entertaining, fun form of baseball. It's good for fans. I mean, we love watching how the Padres play, but do you put the team together kind of because of that, or is it simply because you think that's the best way to win baseball games? And if you thought there was a better way to win, then you would do it differently?
I mean, I think you're always kind of looking at your personnel, and then your staff is able to based on your personnel, that kind of leads a little bit to the style of play. But just again, I think the ability to run the bases, you can do that whether you're the fastest guy in the league or whether you're a guy that's a below average runner. Like being able to understand situation and kind of the tips and tells. David Macias, Tim Leeper, those guys do a great job on that front. And Schulte just he emphasizes it. It's something like in the ball talks every single day that the group has. We highlight it. Spring training is not kind of just getting your work in and your reps in. I think the work that they put in spring training, it shows yesterday. So again, I think a combination of having some players that can do it from a personnel standpoint, valuing it as an organization for sure, and then just understanding like from a style of play, that's it's usually just good winning baseball and what that looks like. And it's fun to watch it yesterday for sure.
It really was. Talking to AJ Preller here on Ben and Woods this morning, and AJ, Mike Schilt was talking about, man, he said this is one of the hardest roster crunches I've ever had to go through. We got a lot of deserving players that probably deserve spots on this team. And then, look, you guys had to let go of some guys, and potentially, there's a chance for some guys to stay in the organization, whatever. But for you, out of all the years you've done this, where does this rank as, in roster crunch for you? How difficult was it?
It was, again, I know the last, really like kind of started like maybe 3 weeks before we knew we had to break camp. Myself, Mike, our analysts, our scouting group, they were, pretty much every night we're hanging out, in the complex there in Peoria, and got the whiteboard up, and we're going, man, we're 7 names, 8 names, 9, it ended up being, 10 or 11 names that are, for 5 spots, so hopefully a good sign, in terms of for the season, having depth. And, it's always a good thing when you have options and have tough decisions. But, there were some really tough conversations over the last couple of days because we could have gone a lot of different ways with the team and the roster. Obviously some of it was keeping depth. Some of it was kind of the balance and blend, veteran, youth, athleticism, et cetera. And the good news is, the guys that we brought in, they made it, made us have some tough calls. And then I think looking forward to the rest of the year, I think we know that, there's going to be competition at the big league level. And as we need to see other pieces, whether we want to kind of change the look or style of our team, whether we have injuries and need some guys to come up and play well, we've got some guys throughout the organization that are going to be able to help us. That was all, that was all part of the decision. So obviously we went with the group we went to, but Oscar Gonzalez, Tirso, Connor Joe, Tyler. There was so many different ways we could have gone with it. And, I think exciting, but probably as tough of any calls here, this last few weeks in terms of just rounding out the roster.
And the one in particular, Eggy Rosario, who's been in the organization so long. And I thought your comments were telling. You said he's a big league player.
Yeah.
We just don't have a spot for him. And I assume you think you're probably going to lose him here. How does that work? And I know you got some time where you can try to trade him, but your hands are tied a little bit because of the DFA process and not having any options remaining.
Yeah, it's like that out of options. Obviously, players in the minor leagues, they get on a 40-man in the roster, and then they have a set period of time where they can be optioned to the minors, and after that time, they can't anymore. So it's a good thing at times for players because that it's like, hey, they have to be forced to be on the roster, and if they're gonna get off, they have to be passed through waivers. But unfortunately, sometimes it kind of limits, the team's options in terms of not having a guy that can go up and down if he's in that kind of bench role, et cetera. And for Eggy, it's tough because he's a guy our international group signed. He's kind of gone level at a time. He's got ability, and he's shown he's a major league player. And I think we saw that again all spring. He's a good defender. He's a capable defender in a lot of different spots. He can hit a home run. He can steal a base. So that was one of those decisions that was very tough, but my guess is here we have about a week here to make a roster move with him. There are teams that are interested in him in a trade. So, my guess is he'll get an opportunity to go somewhere and play, and he deserves it, because he helped us out last year. And, unfortunately, the clock ran out a little bit on us. And it's tough, too, when you're a young player, that's kind of breaking in on a veteran team with a lot of star regular players. It just limits that opportunity, and then you got to make decisions about your bench. So, but Eggy, think the world of him. I think he'll go out and play well somewhere else, is my guess, and we'll see what happens here down the road.
Well, it's always hard, because for you, the opportunity to maybe move Eggy Rosario, and like you said, he's a big league player. He catches on with whoever, Chicago or something, and hits 25 home runs. Everybody looks to you and says, "Oh, well, why didn't you keep Eggy Rosario?" I mean, it's not an easy thing you do, AJ Preller, and I give you a lot of credit for how well you do it. But yeah, some are going to get away from time to time. But then, you see conversely a guy like Gavin Sheets, who cut by the worst team in baseball. You pick him up, you see something in him, comes out and delivers on opening day in a pinch hit, game-tying home run. What a moment for Padres fans. What a moment for Gavin Sheets. And I have to imagine, what a moment for AJ Preller yesterday a little bit.
I mean, it's exciting. Just like, you see a guy like Gavin, who's again, somebody like this whole off season that we had a lot of conversation with. And, I think, again, like those conversations, it's fun to see a moment like yesterday and really all spring where you're like, all right, this is, you kind of look back at, like Pete DeYoung on the pro side. Schulte had conversations with him. Mike McCoy and Victor on the hitting side that have been working with him and making some adjustments throughout spring training. It's just like Josh Stein talking to him. I mean, it's a recruiting pitch, but it's also just like, having seen a player that, the group feels like can potentially help us. And I mean, one swing of the bat yesterday changed that game and really won us a baseball game. It was a big part of it. So, it's, again, that's all part of the process from the front office and scouting. And then you have a coaching staff that's able to take a guy, make some adjustments, and good start yesterday. It's hard to find left-handed power. Yeah. He's in really good shape. He's a good, his dad played in the big leagues, a good guy. There's some history there from some of our coaches and him. And he came in and helped us. And you're going to need those contributions all year long. And he got off to a great start yesterday, and hopefully he keeps it going.
Talking to AJ Preller here on a Friar Friday with Ben and Woods. And AJ, I want to talk about Jackson Merrill. Obviously, he's a burgeoning star. I saw so many Jackson Merrill jerseys around downtown yesterday. But what continues to floor me, he had a game yesterday I think a 15-year veteran would appreciate. The way he brought in runs, did everything that was required of him at the plate, made the plays in the field, probably the best play of the day. As you scout tools, you can measure bat speed and foot speed and all kinds of things when your scouts go out. Makeup is probably a harder thing to scout, but Jackson seems to have is that like the best baseball makeup you've really ever seen from a guy? He's 21 and he continues to floor me with his attitude. Every time I see him and talk to him, what lab did you guys create him in?
Yeah, I mean, Jackson, again, I think, I think I've said this a few times, kind of sneaking in to see him in high school because he was a guy that wasn't quite on the radar for a lot of teams. And, watching from, I don't know, 300 yards away or so, basically the one thing that shined through with Jackson was a good player, but that he was there to win and compete, in terms of win the game with his boys from his high school team, more than anybody that personally I had seen that spring. And I know it kind of sounds maybe like doesn't everybody do that, but just like you're talking about, I mean, it's like it's just a different level of compete, and he's just a winner, and it's hard to quantify that sometimes. But I think yesterday in the lunchroom I saw him and before the game and just said, hey, you prepare for sale, you got a game plan. He said, just try to get a base hit to left field, and you see that at bat in the first inning where he kind of understands game situation and is able to, I mean, Sale's jumping up to 97, 98, crossfire from the left side. And Jackson finds a breaking ball and is able just to serve a base hit up the middle like you'd said a few hours earlier. So it's, again, we've got a lot of good competitors, and Jackson, he's up there with from what really looks to like winning baseball players. He brings it. And, it was fun to see him in that moment. He's been doing that really since he's been in the organization. So it's fun to watch.
Well, we were kind of joking yesterday on the broadcast, AJ, that this has been a pretty, you've made a lot of moves, right? You brought in a lot of guys, some familiar faces, some guys like Kyle Hart, really the first I'd heard of Kyle Hart when you picked him up. I always loved that about you. But for you not wheeling and dealing as much as you normally do during spring training, Was that by design? Was that difficult? We picture in our heads you sitting on your hands going, I want to make it. We got to do something just because that's what we've been accustomed to seeing from you. Why the, I guess I'll say, outrageously different approach this offseason?
I mean, it's again, like every year is a little bit different. I think part of it too is we have that core nucleus, so it's not like we're trying to fill, which is, all by design. I think something that I sat down and talked with Peter and Ron about over the years. Obviously something that Peter believed in, wholeheartedly. And, you get that core nucleus. You shouldn't look out if you have a good group and a winning group and have to make 10, 12 different changes every single year. Hopefully you have a team that you believe in. And, when you have guys like Merrill and Tatis and Manny and Bogart and Cromer and on, it's like, all right, now you're filling in around those guys. And every offseason is a little bit different, the timing of it. I think, people, I think you look back at last offseason, and it was pretty quiet, I think, too, for most of the offseason. And then we were able to do some things. We made the Cease deal at the end of spring. Yep. We made the Arise deal a month in. And then, I think Solano and Peralta, as you got into May and June, and then we were active at the deadline. So it's kind of like every year is a little different. There's been some years where we've been more aggressive in the off season. This year we were a little bit more aggressive late with some of the end of spring training roster decisions, and then the Pavetta signing right before spring training. And it's always a work in progress, the roster. It's I think we're always looking for opportunity. So again, like we'll kind of get into the year, and the bottom line is that we were trying to put a product that can win a World Series. So there's different types of activity and different levels, different years. This year was, more quiet until we got to spring training. And I feel like it's been active in spring training, more with guys that we had in our camp, and we'll keep looking to improve if we can and go from there.
And I know that fans are curious, working with John Seidler, the new control person. If you need to be aggressive against this season, knowing the teams, you're already over the CBT luxury tax level, the second threshold, and you need pick up another starter at some point for whatever reason. Are you going to be authorized to have that level of aggression again this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think yesterday and before the season started there in that scrum. Personally, I think it's year 11 now. Maybe I've had a lot of different setups, and it's been Mike D, and then Ron Fowler and Peter, and then Peter, and and Eric Katsenda, and and with John in place, I could just tell you, like, everybody I've worked with and for, they want to win, and they understand, like, this is about bringing a championship to San Diego. John's a baseball fan. I mean, he went to 60 plus games last year. It's, you talk about our guys and our players, like he was living it last year for sure. So, again, like, we're here to win a World Series. I think, everybody feels it from our players, our staff, hopefully from our front office. It's all about trying to get to that big stage and doing it year after year. So, I think the commitment is there, and, it's fun to be a part of it from an organization at top to bottom. And you just look at that ballpark yesterday. I think before it started, I said to Eric Rubner, I was like, this place is amazing. Like, honestly, you look at that field and you're like, it's like, it still looks like it's brand new. And then the energy the fans bring, I think everybody's just so excited to have baseball back in San Diego. You can feel it from the fan base. So it energizes us. I think it energizes John. And, again, I think the goal is the same, like go out and win, and the commitment is there. And we're going to keep doing what we need to do to try to put a team on the field that gets to October every year.
Well, AJ, we missed the scrum because Ben was intoxicated downtown.
So
we
were
were
you.
all running around doing shots. It was our 7th anniversary as a show, so we apologize.
Thank you for the cake. We got the cake.
We
you
got
sent
the cake.
with the Pod Squad and the fryer. Thank you.
And my wife is here. She was too afraid to ask you a question, but she did want to say hello. So go ahead, babe.
Hi, AJ.
Well, it sounds like you guys had a good day.
We did. We had a great time.
She's here for your real estate needs in Encinitas.
That's right. Yeah. Anytime you need
group.
anything, you let us know. Thank you, man.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
Good luck
Thanks for
tonight,
having
AJ.
me.
Thank you, buddy. AJ Preller, president of baseball operations, general manager for the San Diego Padres, will react to that. Come back after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danek.
Traffic is brought to you by local and veteran-owned Sedano Ford in La Mesa. Looking for adventure? Sedano Ford has the Bronco Badlands for just $275 a month. Built for the beach, the trails, and everywhere in between. But hurry, these offers won't last. For more details, visit SedanoFord.com. I'm Kelly Danik with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, good stuff there from A.J. Preller. Feeling pretty good after that first game of the season.
What a relief. Such a relief to get that first one back.
It is. And
to see some of the new guys come
think
through.
Think of it the other way. Yeah. Should the Atlanta Braves be panicking today after their 7-4 loss for the Padres? Should
they are.
Braves should Braves fans be going, what's wrong with this team? Is Brian Snitker on the hot seat here? Of course not. That's ridiculous. The Braves have a really good team. The Braves say, Padres, they are a really good team over there. It's one game. And let's keep that in mind because the Braves shouldn't be panicking today. And if the Padres don't win every game in this series, Padres fans should not be panicking at the end of the weekend. But it does feel good to be 1-0 as opposed to 0-1 to start the year.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, we can react to some of the things you just heard from A.J. Preller. I thought some interesting stuff on Eggy and some of the other decisions that he made. We'll get into that. Final hour of Ben and Woods starts next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. You know what today is, everybody in San Diego?
Tony Gwynn opening day.
That is correct, Stephen Woods. Tony Gwynn opening day, traditionally the second day of the season, because Tony always used to say, I love opening day, but I really love the second game because that's when the real fans show up. And I think I have an unpopular take here. I think Tony Gwynn opening day is kind of dead in San Diego.
What?
Because
I agree.
Because Tony Gwynn opening day, what made Tony Gwynn opening day, was kind of the somewhat sad fact that after 50,000 people at the Murph or the Q for opening day, there would be 12,000 the second day.
Yeah.
And he appreciated
those are the real
those.
fans.
He
The
appreciated
hardcore.
those 12,000. You know how many people are going to be at Petco Park tonight?
45,000.
Another 45,000,
Yeah,
just like yesterday. It's not
You don't have-
really
yeah.
Tony Gwynn opening day anymore.
You don't have to sell us anymore on
This
it, right?
is downtown's not going to be dead and quiet. It's going to be popping and
bumping.
jumping and a party
Full of Riz.
like opening day was yesterday. And as much as I always appreciated Tony Gwynn opening day, kind of dead, and we killed it. And you know who would be so thrilled that we killed Tony Gwynn opening day?
Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn
Yeah.
would be absolutely through the moon that San Diego has become a place that there is no more Tony Gwynn opening day anymore. Every day is like opening day at Petco Park.
It really is.
I mean,
It's
every day
crazy.
is.
I love it, man. I love it. Love it.
Tony?
He's laughing at you right now.
It's done.
It's
There is
done.
no more Tony Gwynn opening day. It's just 81 of these all season long with people who live and die Padres baseball.
No doubt.
I feel like Tony might, if he were still with us, I'd like to think of him scrolling through the opposing team's final score thread every night at the end of the game, enjoying all the memes.
Yeah.
Tweets.
Do they still do that? Do we still do that?
I
think
saw,
that-
there was a 600 and something comments on Padres 7, Braves 4 from Grayson County.
I missed it all. I used to run right to it, and now I just forget. I just have forgotten.
All right, and then Zach says it'll never not be Tony Gwynn opening day. If you want to hold on to it, cling to the old ways. You're absolutely entitled to that opinion, and just my opinion is Tony Gwynn opening day is dead, and that's a good thing that Tony Gwynn would approve of.
It's also today is National Weed Appreciation Day, Ben. I know it's a very special day.
I was forced to appreciate it many times yesterday. Walking
Me too.
through downtown.
Me too. I didn't really have a choice in the matter.
I mean, literally, after we finished our show at Baja Rex, I walked over to pick up my credentials. So I had to go around the ballpark, and I ended up just unavoidably trailing someone who, just as they were going,
Was it me?
Was it
it
Hannah?
was not you, Hannah. It was not you, but it was a cloud. I was in a cloud the entire time. I mean, I really felt like
was
a little,
it loose cannabis?
yeah, it was
do you
loose
think?
cannabis, and I really felt like maybe a bit of a contact high going on by the
We
time
came from Colorado here, and
We
this
did.
state smells like Colorado now.
Correct. 100%.
by the time I
100%.
got to the credential window to pick up my credential, I was
You're high.
feeling pretty. I mean,
Feel
I just
pretty good.
I
Ben
just had
Huygens.
I had just had 2 shots of Jameson, and then spent an entire 3 blocks just inhaling. They say they don't inhale. I was inhaling because you have to breathe,
I bet you were.
and so I inhaled, and there I was. There,
My wife
feeling-
just said Ben Huygens, by the way. Paulie, don't you call your pen Higgins?
Penn Higgins.
Pen Higgins.
Oh,
It's
that's
so
amazing.
good. I need a little ganja, aka cannabis, if you could oblige. Paulie.
Oh,
that was a little low. Try it again.
Ganja, aka
The
cannabis,
champion.
champion of our 6th annual tournament of drops.
I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Loose cannabis, maybe. What if loose cannabis wins next
back
year?
to back. That's almost like UConn taking the title 2 years in a
Exactly.
row.
Exactly.
You bring back
Yes,
some of the
just
same.
like that.
It's a different team, but you bring back some of the same players, and they gel again, and they repeat for the title
man.
1 year later. It's possible that's next year's number 1 seed in what it has to be now the cannabis region of the Benefits Tournament of Drops.
Paulie's friggin' shirt, dude. The loose cannabis shirt
thank you
is
again to
so,
Romy, 'cause
yeah,
I
thank
love
you,
this
Romy.
shirt so
It's-
much.
It's so soft too.
It is,
It's
yeah.
such a good.
Good shirt.
I may wear that to the Garden State concert tomorrow night.
Before your concerting tomorrow, again, a reminder, we'll be broadcasting live at Tom's
Oh,
Watch Bar.
Keep reminding me because I will forget tomorrow.
Please.
Just so
this
you
is,
know.
This is
I've already
mostly for
forgot twice
Woods,
today.
less for the audience. Woods, we will be broadcasting live starting at 10 a.m. Tom's Watch Bar at 8th and J is part of the East Village Block Party. 10 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. All of our shows live leading up to the 3:15 Sammy Levitt pregame show. 4:15 baseball, Padres and Braves tomorrow. Check out Tom's famous Prime Rib Dip Sandwich and specials on Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. Thanks again to AJ Preller, the GM, who just joined us. I thought some interesting stuff from AJ Preller.
I feel like I've typecasted him, right? I've pigeonholed him into the wheeler dealer GM that always is making trades and sometimes foolish trades and doing this and doing that. And he was quick to remind me that a lot of I think if I'm reading between the lines here, he said, "Hey, Woodsy, relax. Don't worry. I can still improve this team in a month if I need to. I did it last year. And hey, maybe it's 2 months. I'll do it then." He's never been afraid to pull the trigger on a deal that he thought would improve his team.
I wanted to know if he has the financial wherewithal to do so.
Sounds like he does.
He said, they're about winning. And he said it, I think, more yesterday than to us. But he says, and we know that winning baseball in, the year 2025 requires spending money.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not under the delusion that a few teams are under that, hey, we can keep our payroll around 70 million and still if we get a ton of great young players, we can compete for a World Series title. The Padres ownership and the front office is not under that illusion.
Yeah.
They have learned that if you want to compete year in and year out, you have to spend on your payroll to do so. Now, will they spend like the Dodgers and the Mets? No, they cannot do that. But they will, if they want to keep competing, have to spend, at least up to around where they are now, luxury tax levels. And as they said, it'll fluctuate. Some years they'll have to come down. Some years they may be able to puff it up a little bit as long as the fans keep coming out, though.
Pothead. Listen to him. Yeah, sometimes you want to pack it, the bong, and smoke it. You have to do it. Roll it, smoke it, whatever you want to do. Always
Ganja, a.k.a. cannabis.
Yeah.
But, they know that it requires spending money on a roster to put together a team that you feel like has a legitimate chance. Yeah, every once in a while, a low payroll team shocks and has a great season, but that's the outlier. The reality is that the teams that consistently make the playoffs in baseball are the ones that spend money on their players.
The top shelf teams, if you will.
Yeah, the top shelf. That's exactly the choice nugs, as they say.
All little trichomes on it.
That's right.
So, but I thought there was some intent asking about when Eggy Rosario.
Yeah,
and in talking about I think maybe the instinct would be, don't worry about losing Eggy Rosario. He was building up Eggy.
Oh, yeah.
As, hey, this is a major league player who's going to have a good career. Do you know why he's doing that? Because he wants to trade Eggy Rosario, and he wants other teams to bid up the price tag a little bit for Eggy Rosario here because he's got no choice now that he's on waivers. He's got whatever it is, 7 days to deal him. So he wants as many offers as possible. He wants word out that AJ thinks very highly of Eggy Rosario and believes he's going to be a successful player on the big league level.
I wonder how many GMs are tuned into Ben and Woods this morning. Jerry
Word gets out.
Word gets out?
Word gets out.
Does it really?
I mean, Skip Schumacher has
he's got a
direct line to the management of the Texas Rangers.
Skip, if you're listening.
I love you so much.
Love you too.
We've got moles in different clubhouses here and there.
We do?
We might.
Oh.
Been told Bud Black.
Bud Black listens.
We shop at the same bonds.
Yeah, we do shop at the same bonds as Buddy Black.
We had the whole
Rosario.
Marlins coaching staff
for a while.
Tier 1.
Yeah, that's true.
For a couple of years.
Yep.
So you never know who's possible, but
Brett Boone tells Aaron Boone,
Eggy's a Yankee. I heard AJ Preller.
The reality is, though, anything a GM says on any radio station, TV station, newspaper quote will be aggregated by one of the MLB trade rumor sites, and they all follow those to see what their colleagues and competitors are saying.
Sure.
And that information will get around. Okay, AJ's definitely dealing, and there could be other teams that are interested in Eggy. So what are we willing to bid on to try to acquire him before someone else gets him?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. If I'm AJ Preller, I'm at Jackson Merrill's locker yesterday, right? And I'm at Jackson Merrill's locker today. And I'm at Jackson Merrill's locker tomorrow. And I'm going to
asking for an autograph.
What is happening?
I'm asking him to sign an extension and buy out some of his years. I think we're all sold on Jackson Merrill. I think we have been for a while.
Jackson
We all
Merrill.
do. Everybody loves Jackson
He's
Merrill.
such a cutie.
And I look at him and think, all right,
Hi,
man.
this is Jackson Merrill.
Hi, Jackson.
Hi, Jackson. It's AJ Preller. Sign here. No, all right. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm not letting this thing go. And Jackson has, probably to his detriment, has said many times. If I'm Jackson's agent, I'm like, hey, shut up. Because he's like, I love it here. I want to be here. You're like, hey,
I don't want to play anywhere else ever.
But as Dennis
I don't
Lynn
care what it costs me.
Dennis Lynn
and
others reported, he did say,
well, he turned it down before.
Turned down. Now he hadn't been to San Diego.
Hadn't been to San Diego. Hasn't played there.
He was in Fort Wayne, I think, at the time. We're going, I'm signing for the next 12 years in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I don't know if I want to be here, but now that he's in San Diego, you make another run at him possibly.
You make a run at him and you don't stop. You close it. You just close it and close it and close it until he signs it. Honestly, like that's a guy that you want to make sure is here for the long haul. And there is no time like the present.
Now, again, can you do that this year? Does that money then go against your luxury tax and really
you get creative?
Get your payroll.
You do a bigger signing bonus and
but they still that's prorated over the course of the contract. That goes against your luck. I don't think there's any way around.
How about deferring?
That still goes. I mean,
How about an IOU?
Show deferred, but he counts $48 million against the luxury tax this year. So anything that they do now, once the season starts, does that change? Can you have an extension that kicks in next year, maybe, and not now? I'm not sure how that works. That's kind of in the weeds.
Brandon says, I don't think it'll go against this year because his contract is already signed for
That's possibly true.
Yeah.
Like have a contract that is at least agreed on and doesn't kick in until next year or something. I mean, maybe there is some wiggle room in the CBA about the CBT. And CBD.
And CBD. One track mind.
THC, my man.
CBD.
CBD.
What is this guy? Amateur hour over here, right?
CBD's a scam.
It would not surprise me to find out that Ben has been secretly smoking CBD for many years.
I don't get it. I don't really feel it. I guess my muscles are a little bit like.
Didn't I use some CBD cream on your back one time playing golf? And he's like, and he asked me, he's like, am I going to be okay? I'm like, you're going to be fine. I put this on my kids,
Hopefully you don't have a drug test anytime soon.
Yeah, man. I just think JA619 says keep the cheap contract as long as you can. Bro, I agree with you. But every 4 RBI day, the price goes up, man.
And what about good faith?
And good faith.
We're a team of good faith. We're literally built on faith. You have to show it.
Yeah, to show it
to our guys.
I like that. And he wants to be here. We want him here. I would be at his locker every single day. Every single day.
I mean, maybe he is.
Just wear him down.
Wear him out.
Maybe he is.
How about today, buddy? You want to do it? Like when I want something from Adam, I just wear him out for it until he eventually
I think I've told Adam, do not talk to me until this has been resolved. This has been figured out.
Correct.
Like, the next words that you speak to me better be, hey, I got it figured out. Hey, this is done.
Correct.
All right, we'll take a quick timeout, come back. Final thoughts on yesterday's win, looking ahead to the rest of the weekend coming up with Padres baseball here on 97.3 The Fan, all after a check of traffic. Although first, I want to tell you about sdfatloss.com. Thank you, everybody, for the compliments yesterday. People noticed I lost 40 pounds in 60 days by following the sdfatloss.com proprietary strategies about how to lose weight while eating real food, stuff you're eating at the grocery store like steak and chicken and fish and vegetables. I did it. I lost the weight up to a pound of fat per day. You can as well. So many tier ones out there telling me their success stories in the chat every day. I see I've started the program. I've already lost 15 pounds in a month on sdfatloss.com. They can do it. Elo and Scraby did it. You can do it as well. Just go for a free consultation. Go to sdfatloss.com, sign up, and if you start the program now, still here in the spring, $200 off during their spring special. No injections, no shakes or bars or mixes to buy. It's just a doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program that is safe and no drugs. Again, just try it for yourself. sdfatloss.com for your free consultation. sdfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Got to say, Woodsy, I was absolutely floored yesterday by Jackson Merrill's post-game comments at his locker. And I saw him afterwards. I played him on Channel 10. They stuck with me. Just the confidence and maturity and swagger that this still 21 years old. He'll turn 22 next month, I believe. 21-year-old plays the game with. I am constantly amazed. I don't know where he got it. I asked AJ Pratt, like, what lab did you create Jackson Merrill in? Those kids who are 21, yeah, they're supposed to rely on some raw tools and hand-eye coordination, and they're just younger and they're fast and they got all kinds of energy. And Jackson has all those things, but he thinks of the game and plays it like a veteran. He's got some Manny Machado in him. Yep. He's got some Bryce Harper in him. I mean, he has all of these attributes that you're looking for in a baseball player. And he was asked by, I think it was Bob Scanlon, how important is it to establish that same culture from last year about coming from behind to win games? You did it 38 times last year. You do it in the first game this year. And see if you can hear what he had to say about that culture.
Establish that again here right in the early going.
Yeah, I mean, we were down one at the max all day. Like, we were never down that much. So, for us, it felt like we were winning the game even when we were losing. We like to say that we apply pressure, we don't feel it, and that was the story today. We didn't feel a lick of pressure. We were all in that game the whole time, every pitch.
Come on, man. we were down one. We felt like we were winning. I mean, if you're not up 5 on the Padres, you're losing. Is Jackson Merrill's mentality? We don't feel pressure. We apply pressure. We don't feel pressure. This is 21 years old, and I think he believes it. He's not just repeating.
Who gave him that line? That's a great line.
Yeah. I think Mike Schilt might have, or he may have come up with it himself. I have no idea, but what a line. We apply pressure. We don't feel pressure.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. That is, I had such a good AB in the first, man. That's how you set the tone for a day. That's how you set the tone for your team. You're down early and you come right back out and against Chris Sale, lefty on lefty.
Not applying pressure on just anyone.
Yeah.
He was applying pressure on the reigning National League Cy Young Award winner,
He's special,
who
man.
was, as AJ was saying, 97 crossfire with nasty movement. But it was Sale who even said after the game, that's a lineup that puts pressure on you constantly.
Yeah. Sale was very complimentary because that's tough. Those guys are tough over there.
Yeah, those, and that's Jackson who's doing that. He's one of the key guys who does that to opposing pitchers and constantly pressures the other team on the base paths during the games. Everyone was doing that. Manny was doing that.
Phenomenal
Manny, Manny. This is when we talked all spring about what does healthier Manny look like.
Stealing 2 bags.
I don't
bro.
know that it's a 50 home run season, but it's things like that he can do. Tatis saying after the game, I was playing on one leg last year.
Yeah,
it's so nice to be able to run again and steal a couple of bags. That second one when he stole third, he didn't even get a good jump. I was watching him.
He got a terrible
I
jump.
thought he was going back to the base, and he's
dead.
going, "What are you doing? You left like 4 seconds after you should have." And he still got in there.
Still
and
beat
stole
it.
the base.
Scared me to death. It looked like he was running slow motion.
Yeah,
I was like, go! What are you doing? I
Just,
know.
Why are you stopping? Just go.
I know. I'll tell you, man. Too. There. This just popped up on my Twitter feed. Jerks and Profar's first AB. The response that he got yesterday from Padres fans was
Proud of you, Padres
fantastic.
fans.
I am too. It was special. It was incredible. We were there. We saw it. We were really close to the field at that point. Me, Paulie, and Hannah. We were down there, man. I got misty-eyed when I watched him walk out and watched Schilt give him a big old hug. It was a really special day. I'd love to get that win against him, though.
Jurickson went 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. So ultimately, that feels like it goes down as that's a rough day in the big leagues. Jurickson had tough at-bats, though. He made Alec Jacob work so hard that the next guy homer, the next 2 guys after that got on. That's a credit to Jurickson. That's
12-pitch AB, man. That drives you crazy.
That's something the Padres will miss. Now, they get it from other spots, and they have other guys who do that. But that's what I think the Padres will miss the most from Jurickson Profar. Just those really good pesky.
He's a pesky dude.
At bat, he's a really pesky dude.
He's very pesky.
It's fun when he's on your team.
Very.
Sucks when he's on other teams.
I love that Jackson was wearing a Profar t-shirt yesterday, by the way. Did you see that? He was wearing the Mr. Relevant shirt under his uniform. I thought that was cool, man. These guys are, they're still really, really tight. It was a fun, cool moment yesterday when he ran out. But hey,
all the Padres lined up on the first base line. They were chirping him.
It was so good. And I saw Hector Neris was the one chirping the most from the Braves. I don't know who he was chirping, but he had a rough day.
His ERA right now, let's see. If look it up at the math, that would be infinity.
The old
INF ERA. And you see in the first day of the season, Michael King's ERA is 10.13.
Right. Oh my God.
I mean, Chris Sale is 5.4. Zach Gallen's got like a 9 ERA. First, ignore the ERAs after the first day of the season.
Nowhere to go but down for a lot of these guys. So, no, it was a good day, man. It was a good day. Credit Mike Schilt, too. That quick trigger, that quick hook on Michael King, just not going to let him sit out there and flounder without his best stuff. I know King wanted to have a better outing than he did yesterday, but he'll be fine. Stuff looked nasty. It was moving so much that our catcher couldn't catch it. So really could not get in a good solid groove yesterday.
Yeah, you feel like he'll lock in a little more as the season gets going.
I don't worry about him.
Probably a little extra adrenaline making your first opening day start of your career. The stuff was there. Control was off. That's not uncommon early in the season. And we saw it from other ace type pitchers. Blake Snell does it, pretty much every game. But not nothing that I'm overly concerned with.
Not even a little
with Michael King.
Not even a little. Now tonight is going to be another really good one, man. Ronaldo Lopez against Dylan Cease, and after going to the pen yesterday for 6 1/3.
Yeah.
That's it. I get that it's just the second game of the season. I get that these guys they're ready, man. They're ready for a long season. But what I can promise you is Schilt doesn't want to have to go back to his bullpen in the third inning today. You need a little length and girth from Dylan Cease.
I think was Omar Cruz the only reliever they didn't use? No, there should be 2 relievers because they have 8 and they use 6. So who is the other guy that didn't get into the game?
Owing?
No, he's on the injured list.
He's hurt.
Oh, come on. Someone come up with chat. Help me out here. They use Suarez, Adam, Peralta, Estrada, Matsui, and Morejon.
Morejon.
You do have Adrian Morejon. Okay. All right, Dylan. 6+ to a little more Ahone, and then I don't even know if Suarez is available after 24 pitch. Wandy Peralta should be available.
He threw one pitch.
One batter. Maybe he can throw a pitch tonight and go 2-0.
Correct. Correct. So you want some length today. Reynaldo Lopez he's another tough customer, man.
I mean, Jacob, Matsui, Estrada, and Suarez all threw over 20 pitches. Adam only threw 15. Peralta threw the 1. Omar Cruz is rested, and Adrian Morejon is rested. So that's already your bullpen situation going into game 2 of the season.
You've got some pretty good numbers from the Braves starters against Dylan Cease. Albie's not so much, batting $125. Is it Nick Allen, their shortstop? Is it Nick? He's hitting 571 off Dylan Cease.
Who
is it? The shortstop. He's got. I mean, it's only 7 ABs. Matt Olson's hitting 300. A couple of guys have taken him deep. Matt Olson, Marcelo Zuna, both over 300. Profar is batting 333 against him, and then us against Lopez. Machado 333. Yuli's got a few hits off of him as well. Crony a big fat 0 for 6 against.
Yeah, but Lopez was a different guy last year.
He'd
been a bullpen guy, and then all of a sudden broke out for an all-star season. Yeah, I expect a good game tonight. Did anybody name a starter for tomorrow when we're going to be out?
Vasquez.
Oh, yeah, Vasquez was named? Okay, I did not see that. I knew it was either going to be Vasquez or Hart. I assume Vasquez, but it still said TBA on my listing. So, all right, and then Nick Pivetta on Sunday in the finale to the series.
Yeah, Randy Vasquez against Spencer Schwellenbach.
Yeah,
on Saturday, Pivetta against Smith Shawver.
On Sunday.
Correct.
You guys want to take off?
Go to that game on Sunday.
Oh, yes.
We have some tickets to give away.
I forgot about that. We did the Sounders all week, but why don't we just give away the last pair of tickets to some loyal tier 1s right now? Fifth caller at 833-288-0973. Fifth caller at 833-288-0973. Going to get a pair of tickets to Sunday Night Baseball at Petco Park. Get your tickets at Padres.com/tickets or win them now. Fifth caller at 833-288-0973. Yeah, you guys got to go pick up your kids.
Yes,
it was good to see you, Hannah. Thanks for stopping by the studio this morning.
Great job, babe.
I will see you tomorrow morning, not Monday. Tomorrow at Tom's Watch Bar.
All right, we'll see you Monday, man. Have a good time.
Tomorrow
10 a.m.
At 10 a.m. at Tom's Watch Bar.
6 to 8 tomorrow.
Paulie, we haven't gotten to anything but Padres baseball, really. So we got some other headlines for the Roundel Report in our final segment.
Yeah, maybe. You guys have thrown
maybe
so
more
much
Padres
work at me
baseball.
this morning.
I know. It's Paulie's. And the phones are ringing off the hook
now.
now.
Let me just get those, and then we'll figure out what we'll talk about.
Paulie needs a staff, and he doesn't have one. I will not help him at all during this break. I'll watch him flail. And then we'll come back next with the last segment of Men and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
I know you guys are in a hurry, but you could quickly stop by 7 Mile Casino. It's only 7 minutes from downtown.
That's actually where we're going, to be honest. We're not. Our kids won't be home till Monday, so we're heading down to the casino.
Making the quick run, getting there early before the weekend brunch crowd arrives. So many great reasons to go to 7 Mile Casino. If you're a high-limit player, they want you at their tables. They want to take care of you at Texas Hold'em, California-style blackjack, Pai Gow, or Baccarat with friendly dealers, comfortable chairs, a smoke-free atmosphere. They actually have windows. How many casinos and card rooms have you been to that are on an actual body of water with windows? I think there's only one that I've ever seen. Maybe like in Monte Carlo. They have that. I have no idea. I've never been to Monte Carlo, but this feels a little Monte Carlo-ish, actually, at 7 Mile Casino. Check it out. The restaurant, Sammy's, is spectacular, and the weekends are a great time to visit because they have the award-winning Best in the South Bay Saturday and Sunday brunch, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Great brunch items and a great chance to check out 7 Mile Casino with your friends. TVs all over the place, a beautiful patio. I mean, so many reasons to go, and you don't have to make the giant drive out to the East County to find your card room. It is simply a quick drive on the 5 freeway down to Chula Vista, stay on the west side, Bay Boulevard. You'll find yourself there in no time at all. It's 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I just rewarded the hardest working producer in the business with 5 Odyssey points.
I really appreciate
from our
that, Benny.
website during the break. Paulie had to help me actually give him the points because he has to help Woods and I with just about everything that is not, turning on and off the microphone.
I may have actually had to help Woods with that once.
That's possible. Woods has had some trouble with the turning on and off of the microphones on occasion. Otherwise, we rely on Paulie for everything else in this job, and he does a great job. Congratulations to
Jacob.
Thank you, Paulie, who just won the tickets for Sunday's game against the Atlanta Braves. And congratulations to all of our winners this week. Enjoy. Hope you have a really good time out at the ball yard. Hope we see 3 more wins for the Padres this weekend against the Atlanta Braves. All right, because he hasn't done quite yet enough today, we will help him let him carry the final segment for us with some Roundel Report headlines. Coming up right after our last check of Kelly Danick traffic on a Friday on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive through oil change. We were winding things down with just a few problems here, guys. Northbound side of the 805 before La Jolla Village Drive. Reports of a stalled vehicle, not showing if lanes are blocked. Now, northbound 5 Coastline before Palomar Airport Road. There's a collision over to the right shoulder. Accident westbound 78 near Nordall Road. That's over the right shoulder. And collision clearing on southbound 15 before Carmel Mountain Road. Spring into action at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive through oil change. Stay in your car while friendly technicians check oil, batteries, lights, tires. Maybe bringing a cappuccino. Nah, just kidding on that last one. Locations and coupons at SoCalOilChange.com. All vehicle types welcome. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Get things started here with our today's edition of the Roundel Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul. All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah?
All right.
Alrighty.
It is the Rondo Report. It's brought to you by the Craft Taco. Whether you're craving tacos for lunch or a craft beer for happy hour, the Craft Taco is the answer. Now open in Balboa Park and Sereno Valley.
I could have read that for you and taken something off your plate. It's one of the things I actually can
You actually could have done that.
is read liners. I'm pretty good at that, but Paul is doing everything this morning, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit back and enjoy.
It's all good.
Listen to the Roundel Report.
It's all good. So yesterday, after the Padres game wrapped up, it was probably about 4:00, and at 4:09, I think, was the first tip-off in the Sweet 16. We did have some college hoops yesterday. It worked out very well for me to watch the baseball game and then dive right into a couple of basketball games last night. I know Woodsy said he missed the basketball entirely. He was too busy watching like the Giants and whoever they were playing.
I got some of the second half of the doubleheader games.
There
when I
was
got
one
back to the
good game
office.
last night, and that was Texas Tech, the 3 seed taking down number 10 Arkansas in overtime. They won by 2. And the reason that was a good game was Texas Tech was down like 15 points with just a few minutes remaining.
I think
they
it
went on
was
an insane run.
13, like with 4:30 and 6 with like just over a minute left.
Yeah.
Texas Tech made a run back. What was his name? Darian Williams, who was, I think, the Mountain West Player of the Year 2 years ago, and then they stole him in NIL. And then last year's Mountain West Player of the Year, Obi Toppin, they stole him in
Yeah,
NIL. So,
right.
Magoon Guath probably going to Texas Tech next year as the Mountain West Freshman of the Year for the third straight year. They can just steal all the good players from the conference. But, they pulled it off. And, Coach Calipari, Arkansas, they were the last quote-unquote Cinderella left in the tournament. Not much of a Cinderella when you've got Coach Cal and, the Razorbacks team with a national championship pedigree, but they were really the only non-chalky team left in the field, and it looked like they were going to advance to the Elite Eight for most of that game. They played really well and then just collapsed at the end. Tough way for your season to come to a close.
Yeah, pretty boring day in college basketball
Alabama
after that.
How about Alabama hitting 25 3-pointers?
113 points on the day, which you almost never see that in college basketball.
Yep.
They score a lot. And then you got 4 more games today, couple on Saturday, couple on Sunday, and by Sunday night we will have a Final Four that is set.
Yeah, what do we got? Today is 4:09 is Ole Miss, Michigan State. 4:39 Kentucky, Tennessee. So just an SEC game, regular season. Michigan, Auburn at 6:39, and then Purdue, Houston at 7:09. If you're one of those fans like me, like, hey, cheer for the team that you won so you can say you beat the national champion. If you're an Aztecs fan, you can cheer for Houston to go all the way and say, hey, we beat the national champions that season early in the year. Not that it means anything at all, but you could say it at least.
Doesn't do anything for me.
I know it doesn't.
All right. I actually wish Woodsy was here because I have an NBA story, and I know that sounds ironic.
It's not the Lakers getting a half-court shot dumped on them to lose last night by the Bulls, is it? Okay.
That was tough for your beloved Lakers. But for as far as NBA stories go, for the Rhino Report, I think Woods would have really had some thoughts on this. So LeBron James the other day, we didn't get to this, but the Lakers were in Indiana.
Correct.
And he stopped by where they filmed the Pat McAfee show. He was in studio. It's not something LeBron James does a ton of. He likes to do his own media production, his own sit down, the barbershop, I think it was, that he had on his own company that he started. But he did go on ESPN. He went on with Pat McAfee. It was very full of curse words that ESPN sometimes allows and
I don't know
doesn't.
what the policy is. They're cable, so you don't really get in trouble, but they don't feel like, I don't know, they don't usually do it. But I heard them. Yeah, they did.
But don't do this today. We talked about Stephen A. Smith versus LeBron James. But the clip that I saw from his Pat McAfee appearance the other day was LeBron was talking about NBA insider for ESPN, by the way, Brian Windhorst, who I think we've had on this show maybe at the beginning at the old station. Maybe he's famous for the what's going on in Utah meme from a couple of years ago. He has essentially, and I don't mean to talk down on the guy, but everybody that follows basketball kind of believes that he has pretty much built his entire career on being the LeBron James guy, the LeBron James insider.
He went to the same high school.
Knew him in high school.
As LeBron, St. Vincent St. Mary High School in Akron, Ohio.
Correct.
And then I think he became a local reporter in Akron and covered LeBron extensively as a high schooler.
ESPN moved him to Miami when LeBron played in Miami. He follows LeBron. He has followed him his entire career. Or maybe not really, because here's what LeBron James had to say about Brian Windhorst, who, again, it's kind of been universally accepted as their friends. They have known each other forever, and he's the number one guy for LeBron James news.
I see a lot of I seen Brian Windhorst on one of these shows not too long ago.
Wendy. Yeah, you played over Wendy. You guys played together in high school. Yeah, right? He was on your high school.
This guy was says he's like my best friend. These guys are just weird, but
so they are not friends. I thought that was interesting.
I mean, I've never heard Brian Windhorst, not Windhurst, LeBron.
I seen Brian Windhorst.
Windhorst. I've never heard him refer to LeBron as my friend. Now, I think people thought maybe because they knew each other in high school and he's covered him so extensively and they've assigned him to all the LeBron stories that there was a personal relationship there. But honestly, in my mind, this speaks well of Brian Windhorst. You're not supposed to be friends with the people you're covering because sometimes you have to report bad news or something embarrassing or something that person is not going to like getting out, which if you're a friend of the person, you're compromised in that situation. So all this tells me LeBron, is that Brian Windhorst is a professional journalist who's been assigned to cover you for his entire career. He's an expert on LeBron James. He wrote a book on LeBron James. It wasn't entirely flattering, the book on LeBron James. Well, I don't think they would be friends, but I think he's unquestionably the world's foremost expert on LeBron James, which puts him in an important position for NBA coverage on, the biggest sports platform in the world, which is ESPN. There's no scandal here, LeBron, that, he's not your friend. He's the guy who has covered you for 25 years since you were a kid, and almost no one knew about you. He's covered every day of your career, and that's been his life, and he's turned it into a really good career. I mean, he's risen up the ranks. He's probably now that that Woj is gone, probably the best basketball guy on ESPN. I know Stephen A makes more money. Shams is big now. They just hired him. That's right. They just hired him. So they got both of the big time insiders, but I don't see anything, scandalous here in what LeBron is saying.
I guess a lot of people jumped to Windhorst's defense there, but it was also come on, everybody's thought this, and now LeBron says it, and he's the bad guy. Come
on. I still don't get Pat McAfee, the phenomenon that is Pat McAfee.
I go back and forth with him.
I will say, I think
seems like a fairly decent person.
Yeah,
he runs a style of television sports show that I think, honestly, is kind of Ben and Woods-esque.
Right,
if we could curse,
right,
which we can't.
You know who would be Pat McAfee times 100 if they wanted to pay him? Guy who left early today. I mean, Woods is, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to take a shot at Pat McAfee. I'm just my mind is blown that he's become such a highly paid, influential figure. Woods would do a better job hosting the Pat McAfee show, in my opinion, than Pat McAfee would. If that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for the kind of unfiltered,
I think it's interesting
edgy, can talk sports, but
ESPN's willing to risk everything for Pat McAfee. I don't know that he's that important, but there's times he has pretty interesting guests.
Sure, but
he has a fun show, and it's different.
But it's this snowball of momentum that he can now get LeBron James to come into studio. Good for him. I mean, good for him. I don't see him as being the most talented person I've ever seen, but he's certainly parlayed everything into the right way, into an amazing media career here. And he's not bad. I'm not saying he's bad.
Sounds like you're kind of saying he's
bad. All right. All right, fine. I'm jealous. I am definitely a little jealous of Pat McAfee's mostly overnight stardom in the sports media business.
And then finally, I have another story here. It's almost an M-I-A-I-T-A-M-I-the-A-H.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That we've done. We do those every once in a while here. I'm going to side with the subject in question here. So there is a plumbing company back to the state of Indiana, Ben and Woods here in Indiana. There was a plumber who, the company is in the news because their customer didn't pay, and the plumber went back to the business and reclogged their pipes. So there is a bar, a Thai bistro and bar in Evansville, Indiana, and their grease trap was overflowing, and they hired this company to deal with that. They cleared the clog. It cost them $235. The restaurant paid it, and then 3 days later, the pipe was clogged once again. So that same plumber came back, and he cleared the pipe for a second time, charged the restaurant again, and it was actually more than the first time. He charged them $390 because it was an emergency and it was not during normal hours.
Okay.
So that also makes sense to me, right? If it's a Saturday or, if your business hours only, whatever. The restaurant refused to pay, saying that this company should stand behind their work. They were shocked because the plumber came back the next day and he reclogged the pipes. He accessed the pipe from the outside and installed a balloon so that it would not drain. And the owner of the plumbing company, he says that the restaurant has a long history of being very slow to pay their bills. And so he was okay with them keeping this balloon in the clogged pipe until he received their money.
Like putting the what is that device they put on your tires?
Yeah,
so you can't move your car.
What is it?
Yeah,
iron. Yeah.
And so you can't drive the boot. Yeah, when they put a boot on your car because you didn't pay your car payment or you had overdue fines, so they put the boot on your car. This is like putting a boot on your grease.
The kitchen would have overflowed. The company did have to. The restaurant had to end up paying this plumbing company, but it doesn't say that he didn't do the job right the first time. It's saying that the
I feel like I need
to clear the pipes.
I mean, if I'm like the court here and I'm the judge, my biggest question is, did he not do the job properly the first time? Because it shouldn't become something that has just been unclogged and like fixed. I mean, should be, even if the restaurant is not, cleaning properly and they're putting the wrong things down the drains,
3 days later,
probably shouldn't clog up 3 days later. Now, if you're not doing it right, maybe in a few months it's clogged again. It's like, oh, we got to call the plumber again. I don't think that the plumber did something wrong, but when it clogs in 3 days, my first instinct would be you didn't really unclog it. You think you temporarily removed something, but you didn't really do the job. So, if you're going to stand by your work and, satisfaction guaranteed your money back. You hear that from most businesses. I would not have been satisfied if I was that business. So,
Now, but if you have a business like this bar and restaurant that has a history of not paying or being slow to pay,
a lot of restaurants are sometimes slow to pay. It's a tough business. It's a tough industry. My wife works in it. It's sometimes you have to say, hey, I'll get you next Tuesday after we got, more money that comes in. It's not totally uncommon. Now, if you're a plumber, you don't want to work that way, then you don't take the business. But once you've taken the business and you've gone in, you should do the best job possible to fix it. So I don't know. I mean, I'm on the fence on this one. Who's right? And AITAH on this one.
Well, the Thai bar and bistro, they filed a complaint with the Better Business Bureau. So we'll have to just keep an update on that later.
That's our Rindle report. Thank you, Paulie. Good work this week. Good work every week, honestly, but this week in particular,
it was a fun week, boys.
With remote shows, our 7-year anniversary, extra production for the start of Padres season, extra spots coming in. Woods literally had to record a commercial during our last commercial break as he was walking out the door. The music had already started playing for us to come back, and they're still working on it during the break.
He couldn't find the copy on his computer, so he was actually hovering over my shoulder and talking into my mic as we tried to record it. And I get to go play with that after the show and see if he did it right.
Treat yourself to something nice this weekend.
We will see. I'll have to work tomorrow. I get to work extra.
Oh, that's right. We will see you all tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. We'd love to see everybody out. We had such a great turnout yesterday. Let's see you Tier 1s come out tomorrow. At least it's not 6 a.m. It's 10 a.m. at Tom's Watch Bar.
It's going to be fun.
Outside of Gallagher Square on 8th by Petco Park. We'll be there from 10 to noon, and then Braden and Gwen and Chris until 3:15. Braden have more details because he is coming up next. Keep it tuned right here, locked into your home of the Padres. For Paul Reindl, for Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Friday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.